for American cricket began in 2021.
There he goes into a dive! What a catch!
The rise of cricket was celebrated across the country. Now, with big wickets and even bigger hits, the stars of minor league cricket are back and better than ever.
Primus goes huge!
Don't miss the nation's largest league competing for the biggest prize in American cricket. The Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship returns June 25th.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Good morning. Welcome to the McKinney Cricket Ground in McKinney, Texas, just north of Dallas. This one is an extremely important game, the last game of the regular season. The equation is simple for the Michigan Cricket Stars. If they win, they are in. If they lose, they go home for the summer. In the meantime, Dallas itself is pretty much where they want to be. They've already solidified the top spot in the division, and they're essentially waiting for everything to happen to see who they're going to play at Musa Stadium in Pearland next weekend. But for now, Dallas is back with a full team. They played with a slightly injured team yesterday, but they have a full team today and they're ready to go. Just a few minutes ago, we had the toss in the middle, and it will be interesting to see what happened. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the McKinney Cricket Ground. Apologies for the slight interruption and the slight technical delay in bringing you the toss, but the news from the middle is that the Dallas Mustangs have won the toss and they have decided to bowl first. I mentioned earlier that they're back with a full side. Yesterday they had a few people injured and a few people out for various reasons, but they're back with their full side. And nothing more evidences that fact than the fact that at the top of his mark, getting ready to face the opening batter for the Michigan Cricket Stars, Ryan Scott, is the great Bert Cockley. Those of you who don't know Bert Cockley, he is currently the USA strength and conditioning coach. But a decade or so ago in Australia, he was ranked essentially as the second fastest bowler in the country behind a certain bowler named Brett Lee. You may have heard of him. So Bert, even though these days a little bit older, a little bit more injured, injuries effectively ended his first-class career in Australia. But when he gets it right, he is as quick as anyone, certainly in this tournament and potentially even in the world. Really just a really brilliant fast bowler. Those of us who love fast bowling love seeing him in action. But once again, the openers for the Michigan Cricket Stars, Ryan Scott, and that appears to be likely Coarley. We'll get the name of the opener as soon as we get it. But the equation is pretty simple. In fact, the opener for the Michigan Cricket Stars is Captain Norman Anwar. So the equation is pretty simple for the Michigan Cricket Stars, as I mentioned. If they win this game, they become the second-ranked team. They would have been tied on points with the Chicago Tigers, but because the Chicago Tigers have an inferior run rate, net run rate, that would mean that the Michigan Cricket Stars would go through. If there is a loss, if the Michigan team loses, then their season is over. The Dallas team, on the other hand, the Dallas Mustangs, are in the one spot that they want to be in, the best-ranked team in the division, and far and away the most, I think, on paper, the most star-laden team. No other team, I don't think, in this entire competition has two former Test players in their side. Captain Corey Anderson is a former New Zealander all-rounder, and then the man with the gloves behind the stumps is the former West Indies keeper Dinesh Ramdin. Here we are, Bert Cockley to go from around the wicket, and that's a brilliant stroke, driven through the offside for 4. So Norman Anwar knows exactly what he needs to do. They need to put up a big total, and they need to defend it. Nothing else will matter. And so Bert Cockley, with that first delivery, I think you could generously describe it as a warm-up ball. And it was full and in the slot outside off and put away easily by Norman Anwar for 4. Once again, one simple formula for the Michigan Cricket Stars. They win, and they're in. And this, again, is Bert Cockley. I suspect this next ball is going to be slightly quicker. Oh, almost missed his run up there. But that gives us a chance for me to introduce the second person in our commentary booth today, Mr. Nagesh Kunamneni. Nagesh, good morning. In fact, we'll get to Nagesh as soon as we can. Nagesh is multitasking, doing about 5 or 6 different things. But Nagesh, one of the most important people here in the setup. Nagesh, we'll get back to you in a second as Bert Cockley comes in with his second delivery. Much quicker, as you would expect. Bang on target. Good morning, Nagesh.
Good morning, Brian. It's nice, sunny, bright here in McKinney, Texas. Really a great weather. A little slight breeze. Enjoying it. Been here for an hour now, trying to set up and make sure everything is good to get started. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the live stream that's coming across. Again, a great start. Looks like there is some side screen issues that folks want us something changed. That said, here it is back to you, Brian.
Brett Cockley back into action. Very full, almost Yorker length. Driven into the covers. That's Captain Corey Anderson who does the fielding. So a pretty standard field as you would imagine during the power play for a quick bowler. In fact, there's only two people are outside the circle. There's a wide third man, and then there's a man at deep backward square. So Brett Cockley, you've seen him through the entire season. I've always been impressed with him. I want your thoughts on him as a bowler after this delivery. 3 deliveries in, 4 without loss. Short and sky. This is a catching opportunity. Simple catch on the circle, and it is taken. Brett Cockley strikes. I was about to say that I think he's a great bowler, but I think that has been evidenced right here. After being struck for 4 the first ball, he's come back with 2 very good deliveries. Then the third, simple catch offered to mid-off. That catch completed by that fielder, and the captain himself goes. The score is 4 for 1.
Yeah, Brian, I was going to start exactly the same way yesterday. I agree, he's a good bowler, but I knew I would get the hard time from you, and I didn't have to say anything. The ball proved itself as to the caliber of the bowler he is. I think I'm a little bit. I watched Dallas cricket and a little bit involved here. So what I see, Brett of late is mentoring the young kids that are a part of the Mustangs franchise, and that is a part of the young youth cricket here. I think his role as a mentor and developing these youngsters is what really catches my attention. We know how good he is. I don't think I am in any position or capacity to comment on how great a bowler he is, but I definitely appreciate what the franchise and what they're doing with him here.
So, Brett Cockley, look, I'm from a country that produced Michael Holding, Courtney Walsh, Patrick Patterson, so I'm a slightly biased, not exactly neutral observer, but I love quality fast bowling. You see that here from Brett Cockley. Just sky. The ball was too quick. It was on too quickly to Nauman Anwar, and all he could do was sky a simple catch. A catch taken at mid-off by Sujit Gowda. So 4 for 1. Ryan Scott will now be on strike. Ryan Scott is the other opener. He started out as a non-striker. The ball was in the air for about a week and a half, so he had enough time to go to the other end. And he will now be facing Brett Cockley. This is an interesting matchup. Ryan Scott, who's also from Jamaica, so he's accustomed to fast bowling. And this might be the case of the irresistible force and the immovable object. So, in fact, if you see Brett Cockley just made his run up a little bit longer. It's now outside of the 30-yard circle, a la Michael Holding. So here he is again into Ryan Scott. Very quick and played right back to Cockley. It's a good-looking stroke by Ryan Scott. Not exactly getting it away, but confident. You always want to feel that first one off the middle of the bat. There's just 1 ball remaining here in the first over. Already, the Dallas Mustangs have struck gold and have delivered the big wicket of the captain and opening bat, Nauman Anwar. And so Michigan not really looking, or they would have wanted to have a better start than the one that they've had so far. Well, here's the last ball of the over. Big slash and a miss. You hear the grunt by Cockley. He's into top gear all of a sudden. Great start by Brett Cockley and the Dallas Mustangs. At the end of 1, score is 4 for 1. So 4 for 1 is the score. Brett Cockley with a successful over. And the bowler coming from the south end, let's call it the first end, is the experienced Nasir Jamali. Nasir Jamali played for years as a strike bowler for the USA cricket team. swings it tremendously. Left arm over the wicket. I spoke ad nauseum yesterday about left armers bowling over the wicket. The advantage of somebody like Sir Jamali is that because he swings it as much as he does, he can start over the wickets, swing that ball back into the left, onto the right-handers. So LBW and bowled are always into play. And then for the odd one that he just has the seam go the other way, can slant across the right-hander, and that's when you get your slips into action. But I suspect he's going to be swinging it into the lefty, and you'll know that because there are no slip fielders. There's a man in the deep at mid-wicket. There's a man at backward, let's call it short fine leg. There's a mid-wicket, and there's a mid-on. So there's 5 fielders on the onside, which tells me he's going to be swinging it in to the left or to the right-handed Haladar Das. Be interesting to see how this over develops. Again, Michigan Cricket Stars have everything to play for. Here's Jamali. There it is. Oh, and no ball to start out with. That's not a good start. It was a good swinging delivery defended, but all of a sudden, you're now going to give Haladar Das the chance to get something in his slot that he wants to look for. Not a good start here for Nasir Jamali.
Yeah, not a good start. And just before the break, not to show my age here, Brian, but I'm a big fan of that era. Marshall, Holding, right? Gardner come from that. That's where my cricket induction, if you say, happened. And of course, at the top of the line, Desmond Haynes, Gordon Greenidge, Vivian Richards. I can go down this. I may not be able to speak a lot about today's cricketers, but if you take me to that era, I can I can go down the list and we'll bore everybody in here. But definitely, we'll definitely a big fan of that era. Not only the dominance of the pace bowlers, I don't know whether I can compare today's bowlers to that kind of class and that kind of pace anytime. That said, I think we're back to the action here. I'll give it to you.
2 old guys talking cricket. Here's a free hit delivery. Oh, big swing and a miss. It was a slower delivery, actually. And Haladar Das playing just a little too soon. A big swipe, aiming for that gap out at wide mid-wicket, not able to make contact. So, you know what? I don't want to turn this into a big West Indies cricket of the 1970s conversation. Let's just... Let's just say we'll keep the cricket as to what this is right here. But let's just say I'm revealing my bias. Let's leave it at that. Here's Nasir Jamali again. Swipe and a miss, a similar delivery to the free hit ball. And again, a big swipe and a miss by Haladar Das. Again, he's going to be looking aggressive. Michigan has to set a big total based on how the Dallas Mustangs batted yesterday. You would think that they'd be comfortable chasing anything under, let's say, 170. Michigan, on the other hand, is looking to get something on the board closer to 2 or maybe even above 200. So they have no choice but to go big here. But the opening bowlers of the Dallas Mustangs are making that hard. Here's Nasir Jamali again. Short of a length this time. Potentially could have been a single there, but not wanting that single. So, Nasir Jamali with the no ball to start with, but a good over developing so far.
Yeah, Brian, it's a good over developing. And I think one other thing that impressed me when I was watching the last through balls is that 2 wild swings and Ryan Scott comes up and kind of calms down Haladar Das. I mean, that's some kind of a maturity there and saying, hey, we got a long innings here and we have to build it. It's not time to be rash, as I'm thinking that's what that conversation was. I think these little things go a long way. Don't know whether it'll work or not, but I think that's the right thing to do. Hindsight may be different results, but at least it shows that they are going to go at it.
I think you're right. As Nasir Jamali in again. Oh, delays the shot just a little bit. Well fielded at backward point by Ali Sheikh. Another part of the conversation that Ryan Scott may well have had to Haladar Das is if you're having trouble getting ball on bat, looking for the big shot, tap it. There's acres of space, particularly as I mentioned, there's 5 fielders on the leg side. All of a sudden, actually, they moved one, so now just 4. But still, you can still tap it and try to get a single and get Ryan Scott on strike, and that ball would be swinging away from Ryan Scott. You could look to drive those over the top of extra cover. This is hit hard. That's going to run away for 4. For the first time, good contact made by Haladar Das. This ball maybe just a touch too wide by Nasir Jamali, not swinging back as much as he'd have wanted to. And it ends up being a free hit outside the off stump for 4.
Yeah, I actually thought that it moved out more than move in, right? I think, both based upon the wind and the direction, we would have expected all these to be in swingers. But the angle at which we balled, I felt it moved out. That made it easier contact and probably a potential edge, but didn't happen there. That's 4 runs on the board. If I was Michigan, I got what I wanted.
Jamali again, much straighter. Defended into the covers. So that's what you want if you are the Michigan Cricket Stars, to hopefully get bat to ball. Nasir Jamali, though, closes out with the dot ball. So at the end of 2, the score is 9 for 1.
Shababi. One more bird.
9 for 1. Michigan Cricket Stars looking to get off, hopefully, to a flyer from their standpoint. I'd like to remind you that the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship 2022 is presented by Sunoco, presenting sponsor DAFA News, and we are so lucky to have the resources of those 3 companies behind us as we strive to bring you cricket being played throughout the country and available to you on your TV screens and phones and tablets throughout the world. In the meantime, if you'd like to follow along interactively, you can always reach us on Twitter at MILC.com, or actually just go to Twitter and search for MILC Cricket. Bert Cockley continues around the wicket, and he's going to be bowling to Ryan Scott. Great delivery. Scott looking to force this one off the back foot. Fizzes through the wicketkeeper, Dinesh Ramdin. Interestingly, I've noticed that Bert Cockley is bowling around the wicket to both the left-hander and the right-hander. My suspicion is that looking at the run-up area for the right-handed, where the right-hander will be running up the bowl over the wickets, that's very worn and uneven. And I suspect for Bert Cockley, who's had major knee issues in the past, he's just trying to stay away from running in on an uneven surface. Here's again, short ball, whoa! Really sharp delivery. Ryan Scott in a lot of pain. That ball darted in off of the seam, wrapped him on the elbow, it looks like, and he's down on the ground in pain. I mentioned that Bert Cockley, formerly one of the quicker bowlers that you'd find anywhere in the world, and even though he's probably a few yards of pace slower than that now, he's still plenty quick. That ball dancing up and awkwardly hammering Ryan Scott on his arm. That it never, ever feels good, particularly for a left-hander. That front arm exposed. And as a fast bowler, you never try to hurt somebody. It's somebody who you and I will have both watched when we were growing up, Andy Roberts. Andy Roberts said, I don't necessarily try to hurt people, but sometimes people get hurt. And if you are a fast bowler, an important part of your armory is knowing that you can use your pace to attack the opposition. You don't like seeing them get hurt, and it seems, unfortunately, that Ryan Scott is walking off. You don't like seeing that, but unfortunately, it's a part of the game.
Yeah, Brian, that's so nice, so not nice to see, right? If I get this right, he is the superstar here, and I don't think any bowler intentionally wants to hurt the batsman. right? I go and we'll leave the West Indies. We'll go back to the bodyline series, Australia. you know, yeah, I know. So, but I don't know whether that's fun for anybody. I think everybody is trying to do their best to outwit each other. This ball just took a slightly I don't know, with his pace and his bounce, it came up a little bit faster than expected, and I think uh, Ryan was looking at it at the lower side, right, and it hit the hand. Hopefully he's fine. Hopefully he'll get back in. But it's never a good sight to see a batsman walk off the field the way he walked off.
Let us hope. He's obviously retired. The question is he retired hurt, or is he retired out, or retired not out? I would suspect that he would be retired not out, which the umpires would have to confirm this, but I believe that he gets to come back after 5 wickets are down. I think that that's the way that it is. You know, we'll worry later on about whether or not he can come back, but right now we just want to hope that Ryan Scott is going to be okay, because that was a brutal blow that he took right on the forearm, and he'll always be somebody who attacks the bowling. So just in the context of this game, from Michigan Star's standpoint, Cricket Star's standpoint, you're not going to want to lose on your best batters. Anyway, back to action. Bert Cockley against short and fizzing by. Attempted cut shot. No contact made. That is Haladar Das, who is on strike. Bert Cockley now really bowling at, I think, a really tremendous pace. And of course, we spoke about the fact yesterday that this is an artificial surface. It's concrete with AstroTurf on top of it. So the ball fizzes off of the pitch rather. So if you're a fast bowler with any pace, you can truly do some damage. There's Cockley again, another short ball, cut straight to point and gone. Another wicket goes down. Solid cut shot, but right to point, head height, and easily held. Michigan Cricket Stars are now all of a sudden in a lot of trouble. They've lost the captain. Ryan Scott has just been retired hurt. And now Haladar Das holds out 2 backward points. Michigan Cricket Stars are 10 for 2.
Yeah, and I think when you see a hurt like that, and at this level of cricket, and when you're bouncing the ball the way you're doing, where the next 2 balls were, I don't know whether cut shot at this stage was it. Maybe leave it, try to hit it straight, right? Just to say, I don't know. But frankly, I think there was. I have to look at the replay on this one just to see what exactly he did to get that shot straight into the hands of the fielder there.
I truly hate to disagree with you. If I'm Michigan and I need to score quickly, I see a ball is short and wide outside off stump, there is one shot to play. You throw the kitchen sink at it. What the issue there was that he did not elevate it. He did not get it up in the air. If he'd thrown the bat harder and maybe undercut it just a little bit, it would have flown easily away for 4. So the ball was there to be hit. The confidence, yeah. So you just saw a batter get hurt. You know that there's pace around, so maybe that's something that went into the decision to not play as forceful a shot as you could have. But there's no question. Short and wide, you have to go for it.
100% agreed. I think I was trying to lean towards how to be eloquently say that the confidence level was slightly lower on that shot, but I don't know whether I could get my words right for that. But again, I think yeah, that ball should have been hit. There's no doubt about it. I was just talking about this type of stroke that I would go at it, given the boundaries are small, and you know, the ball is moving freely, and it's still power play up above the fielders, or you know, straight down, right? If it beat the infield, it's a boundary.
So it's now Umar Iman facing up to Bert Cockley, full and right on the stumps, defended into the offside for no run. So Cockley already with 2, and again he's just now getting warmed up. I suspect that the 2 overs that he has to bowl after this will be quicker than these first 2. And these 2 are plenty quick. That good, elegant, long run-up. I absolutely love seeing that. And this is Mohamed Omar Iman. That was the first ball that he's faced. The batter at the non-strikers end is Kawar Ali. He has yet to face the ball. Here's Cockley again. Oh, there's a short ball. You know that was always coming. You know that was always coming. Those of us, again, who love short, fast bowling, absolutely love seeing this. A dot ball to end things here in the third. In the third. At the end of 3, the score is 10 for 2.
Excellent bowling, but sir. 3 more to go. 3 more to go.
10 for 2. This is going to be a really steep hill to climb up if you're the Michigan Cricket Stars. Nasir Jamali again in action now, bowling to Kawar Ali. Nasir Jamali's 1 over, even though he started with no ball, went just for 5 runs. Oh, look at this. Oh, possibility for a run out. Kind of a yes-no, but in the end, Surya Silva Kumar not quite getting that ball to the stumps quickly enough. They run through for a single.
Yeah, that was a little bit risky and indecision out there in the middle. Surya, his throw was a little bit off, but a direct hit could have been it for another batsman down there. I think it's this power play is completely different from the power play we saw yesterday, where we had 4 spinners bowl. Right, it shows a different team. You're absolutely right, Brian, that it started with the full team today, right?
Now, Nasir Jamali bowling to the left-hander, so a slip immediately comes into place as William Luddick, full straight, looking for the Yorker there, attacking the stumps, just defended by Omar Iman. So, again, Nasir Jamali with a little bit, you expect him to swing the ball into the right-handers and away from the left-handers. So no surprise that William Luddick is now in at first slip. William Luddick, of course, just coming back into cricket, had a good season last year, an excellent season. Now this is back, his first time back into competitive cricket. In the air just for a bit, goes down to that sweeper, deep mid-wicket, just a single. So William Luddick, as I mentioned, a tremendous cricketer, back into cricket for the first time. Yesterday was his first match of the season, but I suspect that he will be somebody who Dallas will rely on for the rest of the playoffs. And now back to the top of his mark is Jamali running into bowl to Kawar Ali. Left arm over the wicket. Short, slower delivery. Oh my goodness. Kawar Ali almost a week ahead of that shot. Completely mistimed his shot entirely, and another dot ball. So the pressure continues to build here. It's not going to be something that you're going to want to see if you are the Michigan Cricket Stars. You're absolutely going to want something to happen. You want action. You want runs. But the type of action they've gotten so far, they've not liked. This is in the air. It bounces right before it gets to mid-off. So another dot ball. Score is 12 for 2. Just 1 ball remaining here in the 4th. It's a really good start by the Dallas Mustangs. And you're going to want to make sure, if you're the Michigan Cricket Stars, that despite having lost your captain, despite having lost your most explosive opening batter, at least for the moment, you get runs. But it's not going to be easy. Full delivery, squirted behind square. Just a quick single to end things here in the 4th. The Michigan Cricket Stars are needing to win for the season to continue, but they've struggled here to start in the power play. 4 overs up there.
Yes. If it goes flying over, then 6 runs. Like a home run.
13 for 2, 4 overs up. Bert Cockley, the Australian and Dallas Mustang speedster, is at the top of his mark for his third over. Glance behind square. That's going to be 4 runs. That's a good shot. Very good shot by Kawar Ali. Just a little too straight for Bert Cockley. I mentioned that he's bowling around the wicket to both left and right-handers. For that around the wicket angle to work to a right-hander, it has to be outside off stump. And a little bit too straight, easily glanced away behind square for 4. So first boundary off of Bert Cockley so far. He's taken the 2 wickets to fall in this match. I suspect that this next delivery is going to be more along the angle that he wants it, going towards off stump. That's the ball, and just punched into the covers for no run. So a better start, a good comeback ball by Bert Cockley.
Yeah, I think compared to last over, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the pace on the ball is off a little bit this over. And I think the first ball was right into the batsman's pads, so he moved. A nice shot down the fine leg to a 4. But again, I think a complete different start, completely different game today than yesterday, from what I can see from just the composition of it.
It's interesting that fine leg has now been moved to mid-wicket. So there's acres of space behind square, which tells you the line that he needs to bowl. That's the line that he's going to bowl from around the wicket, slanting it towards the off stump. In fact, this one passing outside the line of off stump. It's an interesting field. With that angle, you absolutely need to have, at minimum, your line be off stump. Ideally, outside maybe the 4th stump or even the 5th stump. You have 6 fielders on the offside. The 3 fielders who are on the onside are at mid-on, mid-wicket, and deep square leg. So you absolutely need to keep that ball outside the line of off stump. Here he is again. There it is. Oh, this is hammered straight toward us here. Fielding opportunity for one of the 2 of us, Nagesh. Oh, it's been a few years since I've been on a cricket field, but I almost got the chance to field one there. That is a brilliant stroke right down the ground for 4.
Yep. I think Kiran stole the opportunity from you and me to take the ball and throw it away into the field. But again, I think that was a great shot.
Now, no fast bowler likes being hit down the ground for 4. This is going to be a short ball. It just has to be. Here's Cockley around the wicket. There's the short ball, and it's a catching opportunity. Gone. A fast bowler doing what a fast bowler has to do. A short delivery, skied by Kawar Ali, and another wicket to Bert Cockley. The Michigan Cricket Stars are now 21 for 3.
Wow, I think both of us said it that looks like rhythmic swimming, right? the way both of us said, this is coming short and this is coming hard, and it did. I think maybe there is a little bit more time needed for the batsman to sink in that that's what is going to happen on that ball. For us to watch from outside and make a comment, I think is pretty obvious.
So if I'm a batter, I just hit the quickest bowler in the match down the ground for 4. You 100% have to know that the next one is going to be up by your grill. It just has to be. And so you really have to already have planted yourself on the back foot. Really late on that attempted pull, just really late. The ball rushed onto him, and he just ends up skying a simple catch. That's Corey Anderson, the captain in the covers, who takes that catch. So 3 wickets down inside the power play. Not a good start for Michigan at all. And again, remember that Ryan Scott is injured. So even if he does come back out to bat with that injury to his right arm, you don't know exactly how badly he's going to be hurt, and you don't know what impact that's going to have on his ability to produce with the bat. So you could easily make the argument effectively that Michigan is 21 for 4. Very easily could make that argument. And Bert Cockley is absolutely fired up, And again, you mentioned something earlier about this over not being very quick. Well, I dare say that you were wrong, sir. Here's Cockley again, bowling this time to Moriman. Full in the air. Oh my goodness, a diving attempt in the covers. That would have been a specky if he had pulled it off. But they'll get 2 runs. Oh, in the air for a tantalizing amount of time. Almost just like a feeble shot that went in the air to the left of that fielder at point. He dove and was not able to get to it. So 2 runs to close things out here in the 5th. What a great start for Bert Cockley and the Dallas Mustangs. After 5, the score is 23 for 3.
Fastest ball and slow over. Last ball was 2 runs only, right?
So 23 for 3, we have our first bowling change. Nasser Jamali, 2 overs, none for 8. And it's a very even swap. Nasser Jamali goes off. And the young fast bowler lefty, Surya Selva Kumar, comes on for his first spell. Opened the bowling yesterday's game. As I mentioned, the Dallas Mustangs yesterday didn't have all of their weapons available to them. When they do have all the weapons available to them, Surya Silva Kumar is a good option as a change bowler. And for him, we just want to make sure that you see him hitting the right lines and the right lengths. He's not going to be as quick as Bert Cockley, maybe not even as quick as Nasser Jamali, but his line and his length have to be perfect. And it's interesting that there is no slip fielder for him, because if he does swing it at all, that swing would be away from the left-handed Umar Iman. So let's see how well he goes here. 23 for 3. The Michigan Cricket Stars already struggling. And again, they have to win today. They have no choice but to win today. If they don't win today, their season is over. If they win, they get to go to Pearland next week to essentially have a rematch with the Dallas Mustangs, this time for the playoffs, the the semifinals of the conference. Outside off, this is going to be a wide. Surya Silva Kumar starting off with a wide one. This umpire, Samir Bandekar, raising the arms for the first time today. Samir Bandekar is currently the standing umpire. Samir Bandekar, one of the most experienced umpires and a certified, ICC certified umpire. And the umpire who is at the north end, who's currently at square leg, is Tanaik. Great umpire in his own right. Here's Surya again. Helped around the corner for 4. Not a good delivery. The line was wrong. I don't mind the length as such. It was a hard length. But the line from over the wicket slanting down, all the left-handed Umar Iman needed to do was just get inside the line and help it over fine leg for 4. So not the best of starts so far by Surya Selva Kumar.
Yeah, this second ball, still a youth player. I think he's this ball, the line was off, and the experience of the batsman shows just glided it down the fine leg area, and it's a boundary. That's his back. Here it is.
That's a better ball. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be 4, but there very well could have been a wicket there. And yet another fielding opportunity taken away from us. That is exactly where you want your left-handed fast bowler to be. Outside off, genuinely came off of the edge. I mentioned that he did not have a slip. Had he had a slip, he would have had his first wicket. That is a great delivery, exactly where you want your fast bowler, your left-arm fast bowler to be operating, right on that line outside off stump. Had the lefty Umar Iman fishing for that one and conceding a 4, but he'll be happier about that 4, Surya Selva Kumar, than the one before that. So he just needs to make sure that he stays on that off stump line. Next delivery. There's the line again. That's a good ball. It's a good shot, though. Punch through the offside, running close to the boundary. And that will be 2 more. So 10 runs already. In fact, 11 runs with the wide ball to start with. 3 more balls to come. You hear the shouts from around the stadium or around the facility encouraging young Surya Selva Kumar. Great young fast bowler. He's in a really high-pressure match here, but you get the sense that he has the support that he needs. Here he is again. Good ball. This is intentionally played down to third man for a single. So once again, if you stay on that off-stump line, that's where you want to be as a fast bowler.
Yeah, he has to be there. He's set up the field in such a way that it's all covered in the offside. Unlucky that there was no slip, but that was a great ball. She should have gotten the wicket. Just teased him into playing that and took a nice edge.
So now Keem Dotson, the new batter, is on strike. He's only faced 1 ball so far, has scored 2 runs. Lefty facing up to Surya Selva Kumar. Good ball again in terms of the length. The line maybe just a touch too straight and run down to backward square for another single. So you'll take the singles if you're Surya Selva Kumar. You've conceded already 13 runs from this over, but the first 2 balls went for 9. So the rest of this over, he's effectively fixed his line and his length. He's just going to want to make sure that he closes out strong. Just 1 more ball to go here. And he'll be bowling this one to Umar Iman. Left arm, again, over the wicket. Wide and tries to cut this away and misses out. Genuine scoring opportunity missed on that occasion by Umar Iman. So Surya Selva Kumar closes the over well. Started out poorly, but closes well. And that's important for him. After 6 overs, the power play is done and dusted. Scores 36 for 3. "36 for 3." And so for the first time in this match, we have spin. Spin coming from the north end. This is the great Adnan Haroon. Tremendous leg spinner. Has great control of line and length. And he'll be bowling to 2 left-handers, which tells you how good a leg spinner he is. To bring a leg spinner on to bowl to 2 left-handers tells you that he has the ability to get that ball exactly where he wants it.
Yep. In the break, I just stopped watching what's happening on the field, Brian. So, trying to catch up to your comment, yeah. I can't still keep digesting the fact that.
Adnan Haroon, this is struck down the ground for a single. This is Ali Sheikh down here in front of us at long on. Just a single. So a lot of spin options, really a lot of bowling options. You have Willem Luddick, who has not bowled yet. You have Corey Anderson himself as a pacer who hasn't bowled yet. And then you have spin of Adnan Haroon, who is now in operation. A couple more options, and we'll talk about those shortly. Shouldn't have been a single there. Bit of a fumble in the covers. So the first single conceded. But you have Adnan Haroon. You also have down here in front of us young Ali Sheikh. And then there's also Rishi Ramesh, who can turn his arm over. And then Saeed Malhotra. So essentially you have 7 or so bowlers easily as options for Corey Anderson. You suspect that he has an embarrassment of riches in that department. That ball just played down behind square for a single. Really good bowling here so far from Adnan Haroon, keeping the ball out of the hitting area of these batters. Defended right back and deflected by the bowler himself, but not able to prevent that from being a single. I'll tell you, this is going to be very interesting because the Michigan Cricket Stars have to attack. They absolutely have no choice. It's going to be interesting to see. And there's the first attacking shot off of Adnan Haroon that goes wide of that fielder in the deep at cow corner and goes away for 4. So that is a first, let's say, a shot played in anger off of Adnan Haroon. You absolutely need quick runs, and you need them fast. But I don't think that it makes sense to try to attack every single ball because Adnan Haroon is an intelligent bowler, and he'll be able to counteract that. But with the fact that you have 2 lefties or a leg spinner bowling to 2 lefties, you'd have to think that there's scoring opportunities there. Looking to work this one away and missing. A lot flatter. Push this one through Adnan Haroon. That goes as a dot ball to end things here in the 7th. After 7, the score is 44 for 3. 44 for 3. When I went through the list of bowling options a second ago, I forgot to mention Sujit Gowda, who is another spinner, who is, I think, a very important weapon to have against the 2 lefties. He's an off spinner, so there won't be a tremendous amount of turn on the artificial surface, but if there is turn, it will be away from these lefties, which is what you want. You want the lefties. Lefties are going to want to hit in that arc between long on and square leg. If you're able to turn the ball away from them, then that's how you induce catching opportunities. So Sujit Gowda around the wicket. He'll be bowling to Umar Iman. First delivery struck right back to Gowda. Just a dot ball to start. These are very important overs. This is the time where the Michigan Cricket Stars need to be making up lost time. And this ball is just punched down the ground for a single. So Michigan really doing it in singles. Their overall run rate as of that last delivery is around 6. It is now 6.14. It's less now with that dot ball. So they're absolutely going to have to accelerate. Once again, they have to win this game. I hate to keep saying it, but the sense of urgency has to be there. And in fact, that run rate now is exactly at 6. So they're going at a runner ball, which obviously would get them to 120. 120 from here simply just would not be good enough. It's clipped into the mid-wicket area, just going to be a single. No, they wanted to come back for 2, but I think wisely deciding against it as that strong throw coming in from square leg dissuades that single. So just 2 balls remaining here in the 8th. Omar Iman 15 from 13. Hakeem Dodson 10 from 8. Tossed up and stroked through the covers. That's going to be just 1, I think. Ooh, they come back for 2. Strong throw. Oh, my goodness. A direct hit would have been interesting. But luckily for Hakeem Dodson himself, not able to hit was that fielder from in the deep. So just 1 ball remaining here in the 8th. Oh, interesting. I think we just overheard that one of those runs was short. So it would have been interesting if there was a run out, because then that would have been a dot ball and a wicket, all that running for a dot ball. So Last delivery well played. Oh, gets by Surya Silva Kumar. A little bit of a difficult spot in the field there. I think that might have hit the ground and deviated. And a bit of a fumble by Surya Silva Kumar, and they end up conceding a couple of runs. So that is the end of the over. At the end of really a very quiet over, if you are the Michigan Cricket Stars, you need more than what you're having. At the end of that over, the score is 48 for 3. We're pleased to bring you the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco, and our official sponsor is DAFA News. 49 for 3. The Michigan Cricket Stars, having lost the toss, were put into bat by Corey Anderson. And a good start. If you are the Dallas Mustangs, you've limited the Michigan Cricket Stars to a run rate of 6.13 through 8 overs. So that is a good start. If they continue at this rate, they will only get to 123. I think they're going to need easily 60 or 70 more runs than that. So they're going to want to accelerate. Surya Silva Kumar has now been switched from the south end and now will be bowling from the north end. Left arm over the wicket, looking to bowl to these two left-handed batters. Currently, he'll be facing up to Akeem Dotson. Akeem Dotson, former USA cricket wicket keeper at the international level. And these days, of course, making his living in the minor league system with the Michigan Cricket Stars. And he is going to be called on, I think, to play a big role here, at least until Ryan Scott comes back. Here's Surya. In the air, catchable opportunity, but it might land in no man's land, or will it? Yep, put down. Unfortunately, good try by that fielder running in from third man. Long time in the air, and unfortunately, Adnan Haroon, I think that was coming in from third man, not able to get all the way in. And so catching opportunity missed, will go down as a chance. That brings up the 50. With that false shot, Surya Silva Kumar again at the top of his mark, now bowling to Umar Iman. Thick outside edge this time and running down to third man for a single. Dallas is doing well from the standpoint of restricting singles. Very, very much the fact that the Michigan Cricket Stars are going to need more than singles. I'll ask you to say more about that after this ball, because it's essentially win and you're in stuff for Dallas. For the Michigan Cricket Stars. Dallas has a lot more freedom here. Surya Silva Kumar, good delivery, defended. But tell me your thoughts about what Michigan has to do from here.
I think Michigan is right now backing themselves into a corner where they have to start taking risks beyond what is needed. So really need a few things going their way. At least one went their way, the catch drop. Right now, hopefully the batsman capitalizes on it. But they need few lucky things.
Looking to whip this away on the leg side. Maybe just a touch too straight by Surya Silva Kumar, but fortunately for him, that ricocheted off the bats of the body of the batter instead of off the bat. So just trick. So certainly a lot of work for Michigan to do. From here, they're going at the rate of 6 and over. Again, that run rate exactly at 6 and over at this stage. If they continue at that rate, they'll be at 120, of course, and the single is taken here. if they get that rate up to 7, they'll be at 131. If that rate is up to 8, they'll be at 143. If that rate is up to 10, they'll be at 165. I think a minimum that they need to be targeting is 165. And for that, they need to score from this point on at the rate of 10 runs and over. It's not going to be easy, but I think at minimum, that's what they need to be aiming at. As Surya Selva Kumar again into Kim Dotson. Thick outside edge again. This might land again in no man's land. It does. And they come back for 2. So Surya Selva Kumar, several edges coming off of his bat, which is a good sign for him. Fast bowler prefers to find the edge than the middle of the bat. But good effort overall by the Michigan Cricket Stars to at least manufacture some runs. At the end of the 9th over, the score is 55 for 3.
Can't even remember.
55 for 3. 9 overs up. And you had a couple of thoughts, Nagesh.
I can't recollect the last boundary. That was what I was trying to ask you, Brian. When was the last boundary? I mean, yeah, I get 10 runs per over is needed. That still 160 for this ground with such a flat wicket. I think it's still below par, given it's always been a very high-scoring ground here, right? But that's the best they can do. At least then give our bowlers a chance and a few wickets. They could put themselves back in the game. I mean, I agree 100% that at least they have to score 10 and above. And that's another reason why I was saying they have to now start taking risks. And at least the last 2 high-rise shots one was a drop and one did not get anywhere close to the fielder, fell in no man's land. I think they need to start thinking and taking a few more chances. Hopefully it'll go their way.
So Sujith Gowda again, bowling from the south end. Just for a split second, Adnan Haroon had the ball in his hand. I thought he was going to be bowling, switching ends, but it ends up being Sujith Gowda. He's going to make sure that he gets that ball in that on that off stump line. Looking to cut this one away is Mohamed Umar Iman. Iman 20 now from 18 balls faced. Striking it above 100, but he needs to accelerate. This is stroked down the ground to long off. Looks like Ali Sheikh down there at long off, who limits the damage to a single. So this is the stage in the innings where you'd want for them to be accelerating. That acceleration is not happening, is not expected to happen if they keep doing exactly what they're doing here, because they're getting it in ones, and just singles, unfortunately, are not going to be enough. I mentioned a minimum of 10 runs and over, and I think, I guess you agree with me, but to your point, if the last boundary was 2 overs ago, they're going to need way more than what they're able to produce right now. Looking to sweep this one away and not making contact. So another dot ball. The last 5 overs, including those next 2 balls to come, or I should say not counting these next 2 balls to come, have only produced 34 runs. They're going to need so much more than that. Gowda again, waving a miss outside off stump. Dinesh Ramdin easily collecting that ball. So the overall run rate now under 6. It's now down to 5.8. And Sujith Gowda looking to close out strong here. And that is in the air, just past Captain Corey Anderson, and runs away for 4. A good stroke through the covers. They need a whole lot more than that, but that they'll certainly take. A 4 to close things out here in the 10th. We're halfway through the innings. The score is 61 for 3. So 61 for 3, halfway through the innings. Once again, you can interact with us interactively if you'd like on Twitter. Just go to Twitter and search for Minor League Cricket. First ball is hammered. Oh, there is the first 6 of the day. I mentioned that they have to attack, and Adnan Haroon is I think, even though a great bowler, the bowler who the two left-handers would have to back themselves to attack. And this ball a little too far outside off stump and a little too full, giving Hakeem Dodson the room to loft that over extra cover for 6. So next delivery, much better ball, guided behind square for a single. So the positive mindset is what's needed from here for the Michigan Cricket Stars and Hakeem Dodson, the former USA wicketkeeper, starting this over off in the way that they need to. This is swept away behind square, at least, going to be 4 more. So good acceleration. This is exactly what the Michigan Cricket Stars need from here.
They're getting it this over. They're getting it done this over. They already have 6, 4, 10 runs of this over. So I think they're on the move. They do need a few overs like this to keep up the pressure on the Dallas and hopefully cross 160.
Defended back to Adnan Haroon himself. So just 2 balls rather remaining here in the 11th. 11 runs already from the over. And then Haroon looking to make sure that he closes out strongly here. Using his feet to get to the pitch. Good looking shot by Omari Mann. Just punching it to mid-off. Captain Corey Anderson doing the cleanup work there. So just 1 ball remaining. This is how they have to go. They have no choice. They have to accelerate. And here's the last delivery. Leaves this one outside off stump. Does Hakeem Dodson. So good close to the over. The first 3 balls went for 11 runs, but only a single coming from the next 3. So 12 from the over total. At the end of 11, the score is 73 for 3. So 73 for 3. It looks like another change in the bowling. This is Sahib Malhotra. Sahib Malhotra, right arm spinner. Well, he takes the guard of a spinner, but yesterday he was bowling effectively like a medium pacer. Let's see if he continues along that same vein. Yep, that very much looks like a medium pace type delivery. Just bouncing on that channel outside the line of off stump, defended into the offside for no run. Sahib Malhotra, known more as a hitter, but he can be a very effective spinner. Look at that attempted shot, looking to scoop it over. Short, fine leg. Didn't come off. I don't mind seeing Michigan trying to be creative because they have to manufacture runs. Just ones and twos are not going to do it. They have to get boundaries. And that overall run rate, even with that big over, last over, is now only still 6.4 down the leg side. This is going to be a wide. So a lot of work still to be done. I don't mind seeing that reverse sweep, Nagesh, because you want to make sure that well, not reverse sweep, the scoop. I don't mind seeing a scoop. You have to manufacture runs from somewhere. Next delivery, that's well played, but straight to short, third man, just a single. Oh, unfortunate. This is going to be at least 2 more runs. Nobody is backing up in the deep. So what should have just been 1 ends up being 3. That is kind of sloppy. And absolutely, you have to have those fielders on the backside, looking to back up. In fact, that fielder in the deep on the offside or on the leg side rather, was not even paying attention to what was going on in the middle. So 3 runs instead of 1. This is sliced into the outfield. What a great attempt by that fielder coming off the boundary. One-handed attempt. That's the effort that you want to see. That's Rishi Ramesh out there on the boundary. Good effort by him.
That was good effort. And as I said, at this point, to hit the average of 10 plus, you really need a few overs that are at least 15 to 20. Because overs like this are going to happen where you're not going to hit 10. So the averages don't work if you're still scoring. Your best over is around 10 to 12. So there is some risks they have to take. And I agree, scoop shot, reverse sweep, I don't care what it is as long as it hits to the boundary line for Michigan Stars.
They will take any kind of runs that they get here. This is the last ball by Saeed Malhotra. Struck down the ground. What a great sliding catch. That is Ali Sheikh. What a great catch. Running in into his left, slides and takes it probably 6 inches off the ground. That is a beautiful piece of work by the young left-hander. Ali Sheikh with the catch. And another wicket goes down for the Michigan Cricket Stars. That's the last ball of the 12th over. A wicket falls with that last ball. At the end of 12, the score is 78 for 4.
Ali, excellent catch, Ali.
78 for 4, and what a great sight this is. Here Ryan Scott, who's back at the wicket. So he was hurt, he was injured earlier by a brute of a delivery from Bert Cockley and walked off in pain holding his right hand. But both from a cricketing standpoint and from an emotional standpoint, her talismanic opening bat back at the wicket. But he has to attack. There's no choice but to attack. The overall run rate is now 6.5. This rate gets him only to 130. You have to attack, and it appears that the best person who he would want to attack would be the left-handed fast bowler Surya Selva Kumar. He will be maybe not much swing in the ball. Still, it's now 12 overs old. But if there is any swing, it will be away from Ryan Scott. But he can play that lofted extra cover drive as well as anyone. So Surya Selva Kumar is going to have to be very careful here. He needs to still bowl that off stump line, but keep it just short of that driving length. If he gets it too full, then you and I are going to have catching practice out here, Nagesh. So Surya at the top of his mark. 2 overs so far. None for 18. A couple of those were edges that easily could have been taken, should have been taken. Here is again now bowling to Ryan Scott. Hammered into the cover as that's Corey Anderson prowling there, no run. This is a good confident start for Surya. And what a moment this is for these young bowlers, these young players being put into pressure situations in a minor league match, knowing that they're going against a team who has nothing to gain by being passive. They have to be aggressive. And Surya looking to keep his team in, and this is a good ball. Just defended down the wicket for a single to long off. Good start here by Surya.
A good start here by Surya, and I think they're still falling short of the target of 10 per over. The way the runs are being scored right now, I think really it's time we see some fireworks. I think the guy who can produce fireworks is in the middle of the field right now.
Looking to whip this away down the leg side. Luckily for Surya Selvakumar, that actually came off the pad of Akeem Dotson. So very well could have been a wide. Really, also very well could have been whipped away behind square for 4. Neither of those two things happened, and it's just a dot ball. So both of these batters, I agree with you, are more likely to inject some momentum into the side, into the innings for the Michigan Cricket Stars. And I like seeing the fact that Ryan Scott is back out there. Slapped down the ground. This is Ali Sheikh exactly in the right position, moving over to his left and keeping the damage to 1 run. So just four balls bowled, 2 remaining in the over, but only 2 runs scored so far. So great over in development by Surya Selvakumar. Ryan Scott is now on strike. I absolutely would think that Ryan Scott would have to be looking to get aggressive here. Hammered, but there's protection out there. And just another single. So they need to do it in more than ones, but that's all they're able to do right now.
Yeah, I think Surya, one of the more expensive sides yesterday, but today, just the way the team chemistry is and the way the sequence is, I think going for singles, I think he'll take it any day at this stage of the game. And I don't know whether we're going to see fireworks, but I think that's what we hope to see to get some life back into this game.
Short ball and hammer. That's not Surya Selvakumar's strength. His strength is getting that ball on off stump, just short of driving length. Dropped one short to Akeem Dotson, and Akeem Dotson pounces all over it, hammers it wide of mid-wicket for 4. So a good over that was underway, spoiled to some extent by that last ball. 7 runs coming from the over after 13. The score is 85. We did call for fireworks. Fireworks we got. At the end of 13, 85 for 4.
About time.
85 for 4 after 12, after 13 rather. This again is Saeed Malhotra. His 1 over just now only yielded 5 runs and he took a wicket. So great start with the ball for him. Once again, you expect for Saeed Malhotra to make his name with the bat in his hand versus with the ball, but he's really an effective bowler. And he'll be bowling his medium pacers. He has the run-up of a spinner, but he really is bowling medium pace. And looking to bowl to Ryan Scott. And Ryan Scott, with only 7 overs remaining, knows that he has to go after the bowling at some point. He's at 3 from 7, wants much more than that. Slapping it out into the deep for single. Rishi Ramesh coming off the boundary to limit the damage there. So good start to the over for the Dallas Mustangs. This is now Akeem Dotson back on strike. Dotson in the air, simple catch for Bert Cockley. Could not have been easier. Again, you expect that they'd be looking for ways to manufacture runs, but geez, looking to scoop a medium pacer when there's fine leg inside the circle, you potentially could think that you'd have issues with that choice of shot at that stage. But anyway, that makes it 5 down for 86. The fifth wicket falls.
Yeah, I want to believe that was a scoop shot, but I'm just thinking that it came unexpected and he just tried to deflect the ball in a way that it would fall away from the fielder, but went straight into Bert's hands. Again, I think, as I said, we need some fireworks, but I didn't even see the intent of fireworks in that particular ball. Right, it's all on, I think, Ryan Scott at this point in time, and hopefully people try to put him back on strike and take their chances with him. And after that, anybody should be able to step up. But right now, getting him to see the ball and make him face as many balls for the rest of the innings possible is probably the only way they're going to get to 150, 160.
I agree with you with one qualification. Mohamed Mohsen actually played very well yesterday evening, and he's now at the wicket. Primarily a spinner, but he's a hitter of the ball. So I would think that he may be somebody who can, if not match Ryan Scott stroke for stroke, at least not have to play second fiddle to Ryan Scott. So let's see how well he goes now. It's deflecting this one. Oh, a run out opportunity. Not out. Umpire Partha Patanaik, very sure about his decision, as he always is. Both of these umpires are very good. So back to the scoop shot. I think he wanted to play a proper scoop shot, but because he did not have a helmet on, he was afraid to get in line. So it ended up being sort of caught in no man's land. Wants to play the scoop shot, but doesn't exactly want to get in line, and so he just kind of flips it behind him. But more than, I think, anything else, had he had a helmet on, I think he'd have been more confident in playing that shot. Good-looking delivery. Just another single, though. Goodness. The wheels are starting to fall off the cart here. If they don't figure out a way to manufacture a lot of runs in a very short period of time, as of right now, they're 88 for 5. They're looking to go somewhere, hopefully in the neighborhood of 150, 160, and we keep revising that total. This ball is just played behind point for another dot. If they don't get to that level, right now, 10 and over from here would get them to 150. At minimum, 150. We've revised that minimum a few times. This is slapped square. This is going to be 4. This is what played by Ryan Scott. They need a whole lot more of those, but that is a positive sign for the Michigan Cricket Stars. That is the end of the over. At the end of 14, the score is 91 for 5.
Committee has decided or resolved to fire you.
91 for 5 after 14. Michigan Cricket Stars have their work cut out for them. This is now Sujith Gowda coming back into the attack. Bowling now from the north end. And he's bowling to Mohammed Mohsin. Right arm around the wicket between the umpire and the stumps. Inside edge onto the pads, but no run taken. So Sujit Gowda so far with the ball. 2.1 overs, none for 11. So he's doing the job just from the standpoint of being able to restrict the scoring. Very full and struck right back to Sujit Gowda himself, who fumbles that. Single conceded when there really should not have been any run there. But once again, it's just a single. So the Michigan Cricket Stars plod on to now 92. Ryan Scott, so much depends on him from here. 8 from 10. This is going to be a single. Oh, in fact, it's not going to be a single because the bowler himself moves across and prevents the run. So we're halfway through the 15th over. Only one run from it so far. Make that 4 balls bowled in the over, but still only one run. Just defending into the covers. Corey Anderson right there to prevent any runs from scoring. Sujit Gowda also working very quickly here. Short and hammered, but again right to Corey Anderson. 1 ball remaining. Wow, what a great over this is in the context of this game. 1 run from this over so far with just 1 ball remaining. Ryan Scott has to look to manufacture something here. This is hammered, but right to Rishi Ramesh in the deep just for a single. So 2 runs from the over. What a great over. The last 5 have gone only for 32. They need to be accelerating, unfortunately, for the Michigan Cricket Stars. They're right now slowing down after 15, just 5 overs to go rather. The score is 93 for 5.
Really good score. Wicket आ रही है.
93 for 5. Just 6 overs remaining. Check that, 5 overs remaining. 15 up. 93 runs on the board. Nasir Jamali, the number 2 bowler, the left arm swing bowler, coming back into the attack. Just as a reminder, Fields Manager is the official sponsor for the Dallas Mustangs. And we'll hear more about zero-touch swing when we have the chance to catch our breath in between these overs that are going by so quickly. But in the meantime, Nasir Jamali looking to bowl to Ryan Scott. Again, a lot depending on Ryan Scott from here. Oh, my goodness. Looking to swing that away over mid-wicket. Almost chopped that onto his stumps. The inside edge ricocheted onto Ryan Scott's pad. That easily could have gone onto the stumps. It's just a dot ball, though. Ryan Scott didn't need to be in pain anywhere else. But he's now gingerly moving around as I think that inside edge, instead of his pad, might have missed and just gone directly onto his leg. But he's not worried about that now. Oh, inside edge again. That's a great bowl. Great bowling by Nasir Jamali. Just a single taken by Ryan Scott. And the Michigan Cricket Stars still need more runs.
Yeah, that's great bowling. Again, from Ryan Scott, I think today the injury ahead and now hitting its pad. I actually thought it hit his wickets, but miracles do happen.
Short, pulled away into the deep. Oh, what a great try. Lands just short. That's Adnan Haroon laying full out. You hear the applause around the ground, just maybe a foot more forward, and he would have gotten the chance to take that catch. And it's just a long single to Ryan Scott. And yes, when that play happened, you did say bold. so, so don't think I didn't hear that. So, here's Nasser Jamali again to Ryan Scott. Oh, what a great delivery. How did he keep that out? That was a Yorker, a great Yorker, and well defended effectively by Ryan Scott, but not a lot you can do with that other than defend it. The fact that he got the chance to get a single for it is a great piece of batsmanship on the part of Ryan Scott. But once again, to the point, even better bowling by Nasser Jamali. It's keeping the ball away from where Ryan Scott wants it. And this is really, really good bowling by the former USA player. This is in the air, catchable opportunity, and gone. Yet another wicket. Rishi Ramesh down there on the boundary at cover. And that ball was lofted in the air toward him by Mohammed Mohsin. And really, Rishi Ramesh just settling under it. Really no issues judging it whatsoever and takes it head height. The 6th wicket goes down. Now Michigan is struggling. They're 96 for 6.
Yeah, the previous one also. I mean, I've seen too many of those try to catch the ball and you don't get the body behind and it goes to a boundary. Even though it fell short, he saved 3 runs. There was only a single run on there. I think the applause in the ground was that it was only 1. It didn't make it to the boundary line, just the way it bounced off the ground. This one again, it shows. Right, I think they're bowling to their field, he needed to hit it, and he had to clear the fielder because the ball was bowled in such a way that that's the only place where he could go in the air, and it didn't cross the boundary. So it's a catch. And one thing amazing, the earlier Ali Sheikh catch and this catch by Rishi Ramesh, both youth and being such confident and taking those catches is just, great to see from just a viewer perspective.
You touched on something that's extremely important, and we mentioned it yesterday. You have the Corey Andersons, you have the Dinesh Ramdins, you have the established former Test players, international players around, but you also have the Rishi Rameshes and the Ali Sheikhs and those types of players, the Surya Selva Kumars, who are very young, all U19 players, and just now coming into their craft. It is so important to have a good mix of youth and experience so that the experienced players can help with the ability to develop the youth. Just 1 ball remaining here in the 16th over. Nasser Jamali with his first wicket now. 2.5 overs, 1 for 10 so far. And this is going to be Arjun Vajala, right-hander, for the first time to face up to Nasser Jamali. Michigan cricket stars slipping further and further into trouble. And unfortunately, this game is starting to have a one-sided feel to it. Here's Nasser Jamali. Great delivery. Right defended to Corey Anderson in the covers. A dot ball to close things out here. What a great over by Nasser Jamali. 3 runs and a wicket. The 16th over only yields 3 runs. 4 more to come. And boy, their work is really cut out for them now, the Michigan Cricket Stars, as they're in the muddle. 96 for 6. We'll be right back. Hear the shouts from over in the Michigan Cricket Stars dugout. Come on, Ryan. That's exactly right. Ryan Scott, a man who has scored heavily at the top of the lineup for the Michigan Cricket Stars all year and also last year in the first edition of the minor leagues. He's now only 10 from 17. He absolutely needs to drive things from here. In the air, it's going to land short of William Luddick in the deep. Look at that diving effort to limit the damage to just one run. Excellent fielding. For my money, William Luddick is the best fielder on this side. I think Ali Sheikh would give him some argument with that, but William Luddick is good anywhere on the field, extremely agile, very quick across the turf, and a gun for an arm. So he's one of, for my money, the most difficult fielders to try to get the ball past, not just in this game, but throughout the entire minor leagues. Just a really talented fielder in the deep, or anywhere else on the field for that matter. So just a single to start things here in the 17th. Sujit Gowda bowling his last over. So far, 3.1 overs, none for 14. Now bowling to Arjun Vijala. Outside off, sort of a half-hearted wave at that one by Vijala. Not making any contact. Overall run rate under 6 rather, 5.94. In the air, William Luddick not going to be able to get to this one, and it goes for 4. So getting it in the gap between long on and cow corner. And they need plenty more of these. Arjun Vijala, that is his first scoring stroke. 4 now from 3. Ryan Scott, the non-striker, 11 from 18, but they need a whole lot more of those. They would easily take 15 runs and over from here. Don't know if they can get there, but they would absolutely love that. Looking to cut this one just to, that's Bert Cockley at short fine leg for a dot ball. Sujit Gowda, really good figures overall. Just 2 balls to go in his spell and only conceded 18 runs. Oh, good delivery outside off, and Arjun Vijala still not able to get any bat on it. Seems that the balls that are outside off stump, Arjun Vijala is having trouble getting the bat on. Maybe he might consider walking across to try to get to those. Slaps it in the air, but there's protection in the deep. Rishi Ramesh it is who picks up just a single. And another really good over for the Dallas Mustangs. Just 6 runs coming from that over. At the end of 17, the score is 102 for 6.
Does he need a cap, huh?
102 for 6. Nasser Jamali coming in to bowl the 18th, which is his last over. His figures are 3 overs, 1 for 10. So brilliant bowling by the left arm swinger. Not swinger, swing bowler. Let's fix that. Don't want to start any unnecessary discussion, and we'll leave that right there. So Nasser Jamali, the former USA Cricket swing bowler, left armer, very cagey, very skilled veteran pacer. And even though at this stage the ball would not be swinging as much as it did when it was new, he can still be really difficult to score off of. And I suspect you'll see a Yorker with this first ball. That's exactly what he was aiming for. Maybe over-pitching it just a little bit, getting it as a full toss that's knocked down the ground. I'd like to say good afternoon to Mr. Mr. Justin Gill. It is good to see you, sir, and I'll keep that comment between you and me. Here's Nasir Jamali again. Ryan Scott skies it just over the top of short man. He'll get 2. He needs to get going. Ryan's than of hitting big, but he needs to get the deliveries that he can put away. He's going to have a hard time getting them from Nasir Jamali. Remember that brilliant Yorker that Nasir Jamali bowled in the last over to Ryan Scott. And he's also somebody who can keep the ball just out of the hitting zone. So he's going to be really difficult to attack. But Ryan Scott has to find a way to manufacture some runs here. Bang, there it is. That's going to be, oh, there's a fielder out there. Really solid stroke. Interestingly, he turns down the single. So that just ends up being a dot ball that went for 65 yards. I think Ryan Scott realizes the importance of him scoring runs and also thinks that he's more likely to score those runs than Arjun Vijala. So he's just turned down a really long single to instead try to keep the strike. Big swing and a miss. So consecutive dot balls, 2 dot balls of differing styles, one that went for 65 yards, one that missed the bat. 105 for 6, and the noose continues to tighten here for the Michigan Cricket Stars. All of a sudden, this game truly has a different feel to it. Once again, the Michigan Cricket Stars have to win this game. The ideal score, I think, is well and truly in the rearview mirror, but right now they just want to get something competitive for the bowlers to bowl at. That's cut away over the top. Rishi Ramesh, oh, great work by the youngster to keep the damage to 1 run. That is a great piece of work, sprinting 10 yards to his right and preventing that ball from getting to the boundary. So ends up being a single. That single means that it will be Arjun Vijala back on strike for the last ball of this, the 18th over. And this over so far only yielded 4 runs. So here's Jamali. Full, hammered straight, but just going to be a single down to William Luddick on the boundary. What a great over again. I've said that a lot today, but this is really good bowling by the Dallas Mustangs. Just 5 runs coming from that over. 2 overs to go. The overall run rate is 5.94, and the score is 107 for 6. We'll be right back.
he's out, he's got an allergy. भूल गया उसका हाथ.
Got it.
107 for 6. And things don't get any easier in the 19th over. This is Bert Cockley coming back on to bowl his final over. This absolutely will not be easy. They need runs. They need them quickly. But Bert Cockley is going to be a really difficult customer to score off of. And you know in the back of his mind, Ryan Scott is going to be thinking about what happened when he was last facing a delivery from Bert Cockley. Got absolutely blasted on the arm and had to retire hurt. He will be the non-striker to start things out in the 19th over, though. It is now Arjun Vijala who has the displeasure of facing up to the great Australian quick. How would you manufacture runs against Bert Cockley if you are Arjun Vijala?
At this point, there is no orthodox way of doing it. So you just have to think unorthodox, edge here, flight up, go after it in such a way, play a reverse bat, scoop. Scoop, you can't do it, but I understand that. But you got to think unorthodox at this point. Swing your bat the way you can, and hopefully it'll take a good edge for you. Right.
First ball bouncing well and truly over the top. You don't mind your fast bowler bowling a short ball, but if it flies over the head of the batter in a normal standing position, that's a wide. So that is both 1 run and the 1 short ball that he's allowed for the over. Bert Cockley starts out his last over here with a wide. Again, bowling around the wicket. I suspect that's because of the run-up on the left side where the right-hander would be running to bowl from over the wicket. Oh, great delivery. Fizzing through just past the edge into wicketkeeper Dinesh Ramdin's gloves. So, Bert Cockley, I think, looking to go just, it doesn't necessarily need to go all guns a-blazing, but just wants to make sure that he doesn't get hit. Look for the Yorker. Didn't get this one exactly the way he wanted it, but it ends up just being a full toss that's glanced down to deep square leg for a single. So, just getting some information here from the great Nate Hayes in North Carolina. Nate Hayes tells me that Dallas, assuming that they go on to win this game, which it obviously looks like it will be, should be playing against the East Bay Blazers, excuse me, this weekend in Moosa in Pearland. Dallas has clinched the first seed overall, and they will play the second seed in the West, which will be the East Bay Blazers. And my complaint to Nate Hayes is that he was only able to multitask once, and I'm going to need him to be able to multitask for more than that. I'd like my answers, Nate, to the questions I asked you within the same hour would be nice. In all seriousness, thank you, Nate, for everything that you're doing for cricket, not just in the North Carolina area, but throughout the country, as you are one of the most important voices and analysts in everything having to do with cricket in this country. In the meantime, Bert Cockley again to Ryan Scott. Oh, look at this. This flies well and truly over backward point for 6. Oh, what a stroke. You heard the grunt by Bert Cockley, which tells you how much effort he's putting into these deliveries. But Ryan Scott got just the amount of width that he wanted to extend the arms and flash that away over the top of backward point. Ryan Scott goes for 6 for the first time. Interesting. You said they have to manufacture runs. That was a good shot.
Yep, that was a good shot. And I think, as we said earlier, Ryan Scott, put him on. Whatever you're going to get, you're going to get. And this was not an unorthodox shot. It was a really good pickup of the ball, picked it up wide, and hit it over the fence, right? So really, we'll see what's coming, and this ball is probably another bouncer that's going to come, just the way this goes.
Well, I don't expect another bouncer because he's already bowled his 1 for the over. I think you're going to get something much straighter. Obviously, that 1 gave Ryan Scott too much width, so here's a slower delivery. You don't anticipate that the big fast bowler is going to bowl a loopy, slow, full toss, Courtney Walsh style, and yes, we're showing our age. Ryan Scott was surprised by that, only able to underedge it, no run. I don't think that's anything close to being a no ball. So, loopy, I think obviously it was a full toss, but it was sinking. It was dipping by the time it got to Ryan Scott. So, no chance, I think, of that being a no ball. Here's Cockley again. Very quick and hammered down the ground. William Luddick right here in front of us to do the work to keep it to 1 run. It's a good shot. Under any circumstances, that's a good shot. In the context of this game, it only yields 1 run. So just 9 runs already from the over. Last ball to come. So even with that big 6 over backward point, still only 9 runs from this over. Bert Cockley doing what he needs to do to just limit the damage. And looking, I think, to here be bowl the best Yorker he can to Arjun Vijala. Oh, it's well played into the backward point area, well fielded though. So a dot ball to close things out here. Bert Cockley's final overs, or final figures. 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 24. Brilliant bowling by the Australian quick. And at the end of 19, the score is 116 for 6. 19 overs up. 116 is the score. We've long passed where we're looking for something along the lines of 160, 170, 180, which is what they would have needed, I think. But now, if you are Ryan Scott, you're facing Surya Selvakumar, nothing less than 15 runs in this over. You have to be thinking, all right, 130 gives us something to bowl at. So Ryan Scott absolutely has to attack the youngster. I said yesterday that the very first ball in cricket that my son ever faced was bowled by Surya Selvakumar. So I really like him, but Ryan Scott has to attack him here. Big edge and gone. Surya takes the wicket. Oh, huge edge. You could hear the edge from here. Wide outside off stump. Once again, if you're going to miss your line, you need to miss it outside the line of off stump. Ryan Scott looking to flash that away over short third man, only succeeding in nicking one through. And the man who's least likely to drop that catch is a man who's played 74 tests for the West Indies. Dinesh Ramdin with the easy catch. The 7th wicket goes down.
That was a great ball. He knew he was going to come after him, bowled wide out of the off stump. I mean, it's almost like you execute to to what you set out, as more likely like execute to perfection, right? I mean, any other ball, like I can't even think of another ball that would have gotten this guy at this point in time. Just the only way you're going to get him was let him chase the ball wide out of the off stump, and hopefully he'll get an edge. And that's exactly what happened there. Sometimes it just strategy, execution, everything aligns, and it just makes sense.
So Farhan Ali is the new batter. Surya Selvakumar now with his first wicket, and he will be fired up here. Good delivery, a big swipe and a miss across the line. Surya again bowling that line outside off stump. That is so important. Had that ball been any straighter, I think Farhan Ali would have been able to get bat on it. But it's that line, left arm over the wicket, slanting across the right-hander that makes it difficult. So good for Surya to exactly start with that same ball, and he needs to do that 4 more times in this over. Here he is again. Bang. Man out there, Rishi Ramesh, diving stop, and what a great job to limit the damage to 2 runs in the deep. Right on the boundary, diving effort, maybe a foot inside the rope out there at deep mid-wicket. And that's a great piece of effort. Now, Surya Selvakumar got that one just a little too straight. So, again, that line needs to be outside of off stump. Need to get Bert Cockley, who's at short third man, Adnan Haroon, who's at backward point. Those are the fielders who need to be in play here. Slapped square again, 1 bounce in the deep. You'll take those singles. Absolute good work in the deep. So, Surya Selvakumar bowling a good last over here.
Yeah, in fact, good, in my opinion, is an understatement. I think this is an exceptional over, just given the situation and given what he's been put into. Actually, I was actually questioning the sanity of him bowling the last over, but man, what a miracle.
Big swing and a miss again. Another dot ball, just 1 ball to go. Great bowling by Surya. The last ball of the 20th is coming up. Only 3 runs conceded from this over already, and he has already taken a wicket. So good, just excellent bowling by the youngster. And Arjun Vajala just looking to swing, trying to get something on the bat or get some bat on the ball. Swing and a miss again. What a great over. 3 runs coming from the 20th over. What a great spell by Surya Selvakumar. What a great piece of bowling overall by the Dallas Mustangs. They have restricted the Michigan Cricket Stars, who again are in a must-win situation, to 119 for 7. Dallas now only has to score at less than a run a ball to win this. In fact, they have to score exactly at a run a ball to win this game. Just a quick look at the scorecard. Scorecard not reading the way you'd want it if you're the Michigan Cricket Stars. Nauman Anwar 4 from 4. Ryan Scott, his innings broken into 2 parts, ends up with 21 from 26. Haladardas 4. And then the rest are the and Farhan 3 from 3. Bowled well for the Mustangs. Bert Cock, I think, for 4 overs, 1 and Surya who just bowled an excellent last over. 4 overs, 1 for 2 overs cost him 20. I think him bowling to the lefties had something to do with that. The economic overs 4 overs, none for 19. And Saeed Malhotra's 2 overs cost him 11 runs and he took 2 wickets. So brilliant effort by the Dallas Mustangs overall. Now score 120 to win this match. I think it's essentially a done deal. Stranger things have happened in cricket, but I think you'll see that this will not be a great challenge for the Dallas side. Nagesh, last word before we go to a quick commercial break.
No, it's just, comparing yesterday's to today's game, I think what you can see is it looks like Dallas came in with a mission. And, I walked in early, as I said, into the ground, and I saw two guys on the field. One was Corey and one was Bert Cockley. So it really sent me a signal that they're in for business today. And because coming in from a leadership perspective and from a team perspective and being there before the team comes sets the tone that everybody is 100%. And I think the bowling unit has done it, and now it's for the batting unit to come in and finish it.
Well, that sets the table, I think, for what should be a pretty straightforward chase. We will be back in about 15 minutes for that chase. In the meantime, this is Brian Walters and Nagesh signing off from the McKinney Cricket Ground in McKinney, Texas. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Welcome back to the McKinney Cricket Ground in McKinney, Texas. The chase is on the way as the openers for the Dallas Mustangs are walking out to the middle. Openers are Sujith Gowda and Rishi Ramesh. And they have the small target of 120 to go after. Obviously, a T20 match being 120 balls means that they have to score at the rate of 1 run a ball to win. Under most circumstances, scoring 1 run a ball is pretty straightforward in T20 cricket, really in any form of cricket. And so you'd have to think that the Dallas Mustangs are the team most likely to end this game as victors. It will not be easy, will not be given to them, and they're playing against a team that has everything on the line. If the next 20 overs do not go the way that the Michigan Cricket Stars need for them to go, then their season is over. So they have to win this game. Expect for them to go out all guns blazing. Expect for them to throw the kitchen sink at these Dallas batters. But all you'd want to see if you are Dallas is just a start, not necessarily a rash start. You just want to make sure that you take the deliveries as they come, respect the bad ball, or respect the good balls, put away the bad balls. That really is the formula for winning the game from here. Brian Walters again with you. The bowler at the top of his mark from the north end is Zia Khan. Zia Khan will be bowling to Sujith Gowda. And again, anything more than a run a ball wins this game easily for Dallas. So there's no question that wickets are what Michigan needs right now. They absolutely have to take wickets. You see Ryan Scott, thankfully he is in the field, even though he was struck a very painful blow on his right arm. In fact, on his right elbow. He mentioned to me during the break that it actually came off of his elbow. So having a ball hit you directly on the elbow by anyone is difficult, but by the quickest bowler in the match is something that is even more difficult and more challenging to handle. But he's a tough guy. He's back out there. He's currently standing at slip, arms akimbo. And Rishi Ramesh at the non-striker's end, ready to partner Sujith Gowda, who I think is not going to be in a shell. He'll be looking to score runs, and they'll be looking to make sure that the sails or the wind is taken out of the sails of this Michigan Cricket Stars side. So once again, just looking at the central standings, the standings in the Central Division, the Chicago Tigers are currently in second position. If the Michigan Cricket Stars do not win this match, they will end up outside, not being invited to the party. They're going to want to change that as soon as possible, and the only way to change that is by winning this match. So they have a very tall order in front of them, I would think. But, you know, stranger things have happened, and anything still can happen. But if you're a betting person, you'd have to think that the odds are with Dallas winning from here. But that's why they play the game. Here we go. Zia Khan in to Sujith Gowda. First ball flown away over the top. That's going to run away for 4. So one way to take the wind out of the sails of the Michigan Cricket Stars is to bash the first ball of the innings over the top of backward point for 4. So that's, again, I didn't think that Sujith Gowda was going to be in any way conservative, and if the ball is there to be hit, he's going to go after it. It's a very good way of starting, and again, you're already just seeing that bit of aggression, not necessarily being reckless, but if the ball is there to be hit, you'd expect for him to hit it. Oh, look at that ball. Much better delivery, dancing away. So, in fact, from over the wicket, angled in toward middle stump and then dancing away at the last second off the seam. That's a great comeback ball by Zia Khan. Nothing at all wrong with that delivery, and he needs a whole lot more of those. As a right-hander, he'll be swinging the ball away from the right-handed Sujith Gowda. So Ryan Scott at slip, and now Hakeem Dodson, the former USA wicketkeeper at gully. Those two fielders will be very important. You get the sense for this first over. Here's Zia Khan again, short and defended in front of the batter for no run. So the first ball went for 4, but then 2 good deliveries bowled here by Zia Khan. So just in judging where each team is, you know, I've already spoken about what Michigan needs to do. Their equation is pretty simple. I hear from Nate Hayes that Dallas, assuming that they will win this, is now more than likely to be playing against East Bay Blazers with an outside chance being, in fact, I'll get back to that after this ball. This ball is punched to square leg, let's say to mid-wicket. They get 1 and they'll get 2 because that fielder coming in off the boundary was never going to prevent that. So, in order for Dallas to win, or in order for Dallas to play against, well, let's start that over. In order for them to know who they're playing against, it's either going to be East Bay Blazers. In all likelihood, it's going to be the Blazers. There's an outside chance that Seattle, on net run rates, can actually make it into that position. So that's something to look forward to. This next delivery, backward point. Good diving stop by that fielder at backward point. Just 1 ball remaining. Good start for the Dallas Mustangs. The first ball bashed away for 4. And 6 runs already from this first over. Zia Khan looking to close out, ideally with a wicket, but he just wants to make sure that no other runs are conceded. Edge and pass. Ryan Scott had slipped. That runs away for 4. So not the most assured of strokes from Sujith Gowda, but he does well enough to keep it down and to the right of Ryan Scott at slip. And that ball runs away down the hill for 4. So very productive over to start here for the Dallas Mustangs. After 1, 10 runs have scored. Scores 10 without loss. Ten for 1 is the score. Firhan Ali taking up the attack from the south end, forest end. He'll be bowling to the youngster Rishi Ramesh. Michigan needs wickets and they need them quickly. Here's Firhan Ali. Well played by Rishi Ramesh, just running it down the hill to third man for a single. You hear the applause by the supporters for the Dallas Mustangs. That youngster, all he's going to have to do is just stay there. No need to do anything extravagant. He absolutely does not need to do anything that could potentially cost him his wicket. All he wants to do is just stay there, feel the bat onto the ball, deflect the ball into the gaps, get those singles. If you get a bad ball, deal with it. But other than that, just look to rotate the strike. The only thing that is needed from here is rotation of the strike, and it's an easy victory for the Dallas Mustangs. So that's what has to be in the mind of young Rishi Ramesh. In the meantime, Sujith Gowda, I think, will have other things on his mind. Flying down to third man, huge swipe, looking to go big. I think he was aiming at that big gap out in the deep. Nobody in the deep. The only person outside of the 30-yard circle is Akeem Dotson down at deep mid-wicket. Everyone else outside, or everyone else on the leg side, is inside the circle. So I think each of these batters has different assignments. Sujith Gowda appears to be in there to score the runs in about 8 overs. Rishi Ramesh, I would think, is just looking to keep things quiet. Oh, just missing his run-up on that occasion is Firhan Ali. Happened a few times yesterday. Just, I think, a little unsure as to the footing. And, in fact, you see Sujit Gowda himself, who is helping Farhan Ali to tap down the dirt right in that area. It's a little unstable. I think it's more pronounced at this end, the northern end. As you look at the screen, you see the run-up area to your left is the one that is problematic from this end. But the other end, I think a little bit of the same thing is going on there. In any event, here we go again. Farhan Ali to Rishi Ramesh. Oh, great delivery. Drew him forward and maybe just dancing away a little bit off the seam. It's a good delivery from Farhan Ali. They're going to need a lot more of those. Rishi Ramesh just wanting to make sure that he stays there. If you get a good ball that you cannot get bat on, you put it immediately out of your mind and get ready to face the next one. Best thing in this game sometimes is to have a really short memory and just focus on the next ball, which I think is what he'll be trying to do here. Bearing in mind they need wickets, here comes Ryan Scott again from mid-wicket. I think he's coming back into that slip position. In fact, I would have to think they'd want somebody at the slip position for this entire innings, however long it lasts, because you don't want any edges flying through that area, not having been challenged. Oh, goes fishing for it. Maybe just a little bit too wide to be poking at that one for Rishi Ramesh. His discipline is going to have to be that if you don't have to play at the ball, you shouldn't play at the ball. He really was pushing very far away from his body. Don't need to do that. The coaches will tell you either leave that ball alone or throw the kitchen sink at it. And under what I believe are the instructions for each one of these batters, I'd like to see Rishi Ramesh just leave that ball alone. Farhan Ali again. Flashes at this one and misses. It's going to be a wide. Umpire Samir Bandekar signaling the same. I don't mind that shot. I think you either leave that ball alone or you flash at it. I don't have any problem flashing at that ball. Again, not a whole lot to chase. The target is only 120. And 13 runs on the board means that they only need to get to another 107. But Michigan Cricket Stars, on the other hand, are looking to take wickets. They absolutely have to take wickets. Leaves this one alone. And it goes through to wicketkeeper Haladar Das. 3 runs already from this over, one of which was wide. Rishi Ramesh, all he's looking to do now is, after I think a really athletic and a very successful day in the field, all he's looking to do as an opening batter is just to make sure to get out of this over still at the wicket. Michigan has to take wickets, and if you help them, then that's not good for your cause. Edge does not carry to Ryan Scott. He does enough to keep it from running all the way down to third man, but they do pinch a single. So a single to end things here in the second. A good over for Farhan Ali in terms of number of runs scored, only 4 runs from it. But once again, the Michigan Cricket Stars need wickets, and they need a lot of them. After 2, the score is 14 without loss. For a team without loss, Zia Khan back at the top of his run-up to continue. He'll be bowling to Rishi Ramesh. There are now two slip fielders in position, Ryan Scott and Hakeem Dodson, both ready for this ball that would be leaving Rishi Ramesh. Well played, just dropping it down on the leg side, and they jog through for a quick single. So as a bowler, if you have two slips in position, really, two slips in position and 7 fielders on the offside, the last thing that you want to do as a bowler is bowl the ball on the body of the batter. But if you're Rishi Ramesh, you'd absolutely accept that because that presents easy scoring opportunities. Still bowling to a 7-2 field, but now that fielder who was on the boundary is now inside the circle at short fine leg. So acres of space on the leg side. Good delivery, just punched down the ground. That's well played. And they would absolutely be happy to do it in singles here, the Dallas Mustangs. It's unlikely that they will, but that alone can be the assignment the rest of the day, and they'd still win this match. Only another 104 runs needed. Of course, a target of 120 means that if they score at the rate of 5.89 from here, they easily win this match. The current rate is 6.86. Down the leg side, once again, you have a 7-2 field, so your line has to be outside off stump. Umpire Partha Patanaik raising the arms. So all of a sudden I have a photographer sitting next to me. That's not always going to be the case. If the photographer wanted to say a word or two, I would not be opposed to it. And he's shaking his head. Before I even got the word out, he's already shaking his head. Mr. Lovekesh Kalia, I guess you can carry on doing what you're doing, sir. Ooh, what a great delivery. That's the line that he needs to bowl with a 7-2 field. Right on that fourth stump line and drawing Rishi Ramesh forward. But he's not able to get any bat on it. Unfortunately for the Cricket Stars, I did not find the edge either. But if you're going to find the edge, it will be from that line. Nothing going down the leg side, nothing on the stumps. You really do have to just be aiming everything on that off stump line or that fourth stump line to bring the flip fielders into play. Again, that's the line, and a big flash and a miss. That shows a bit of impatience part of Rishi Ramesh. And if you want to see what his mettle is going to be, I think it's going to be determined by how he approaches these next several overs, because this becomes essentially a practice match, because nothing that happens the rest of the way will change Dallas being the #1 team for the rest of this tournament, at least for this division or for this conference. But Rishi Ramesh has a lot to do in terms of being able to decide his role for the team going forward. And another flash outside off stump. The keeper is there, the two slips are there, and they're both ready for that type of shot. So another, just some work for Rishi Ramesh to understand in terms of what his role should be. So just one ball remaining here in the third rather. Rishi Ramesh maybe just feeling a little bit of pressure, not quite getting ball to bat just yet. And those two slips already in position. Good delivery. Appeal for an LBW. That's going to run away for 4. In fact, it's off the bat. So that negates the LBW appeal. Somehow squirts off the edge of the bat and runs away down to third man for 4. So that, I believe, completes the over. They are absolutely upset, the Michigan Cricket Star players. They're thinking that that just came off the pad. But umpire Partha Patanaik is sure that it came off the bat. And so that negates that. That is the end of the over. And at the end of 3, Score unofficially is 22 without loss. We seem to have just lost connection on the scoreboard just for a short second. We'll get that back as soon as possible. In fact, at the end of the over, officially now, the score is 21 without loss. Without loss. The target now under 100. Only 99 more runs needed for the Dallas Mustangs. Now a little bit of a conference between the two umpires, Samir Bandekar and Partha Patanaik. I think it may have had something to do with the discussion immediately after that last official or that last passage of play. It appears that Partha Patanaik is issuing a warning of some sort. He went exactly to the captain and I believe also to Ryan Scott. So not sure exactly what was said, but there is some sort of a warning that I think, whether it's an official warning or just a stern word from the umpire, not exactly sure. No clarification on that yet, but both of these umpires are very experienced and very professional umpires. So you expect that even if there's disagreement as to the decisions made by the umpire, that they will both maintain full control over the game, which is what you'd like to see. In any event, this is now Farhan Ali coming back for his second over. Oh, what a shot over the top of extra cover. That goes for 4. What a great shot. Stepping down, actually, to the wicket. Took a step down and met that ball on the half volley and lofting it over extra cover for 4. So that is the response by Sujith Gowda to a little bit of byplay going on by the Michigan Cricket Stars. Just stamping his authority on the proceedings at the top end of the over. That's always a good way from a batting side standpoint to start an over. You start the over with a boundary, and then all of a sudden the bowler goes on the back foot and has to struggle out of that hole that he's been dug just from that first delivery. So 1 ball into the second over being bowled by Farhan Ali, and he's already conceded a boundary. Sujith Gowda again ready. And again missing out. And again we have Santa Claus delivering presents in the middle of it's Christmas in August all of a sudden. As some refreshments have been delivered by the great Nagesh. Nagesh Kunamneni. Nagesh, thank you so much. Farhan Ali looking to take wickets once again. Second delivery. Oh, he put his effort into that one. That was a great delivery. And defended awkwardly by Sujith Gowda. Ball trickles to short third man for no run, but that was a great delivery by Farhan Ali. 95 more runs needed for the Dallas Mustangs to put the finishing touches on this excellent regular season that they've had. I think they've had easily the best regular season of their young existence, and certainly in the Central Division this year. So, short. Oh, what a shot. Oh, hammered. Authoritative. It lands 75 yards away over mid-wicket. He plants himself onto the back foot and absolutely blasts this ball over mid-wicket for the biggest 6 of the match so far. A tremendous stroke. And that, again, puts the bowling side, particularly Farhan Ali, on the back foot. What a tremendous stroke by Sujith Gowda. And that tells you that he's not going to take the conservative approach. If the ball is there to be hit, he'll pounce all over it. And it was a genuine short ball, but he saw it so well and timed it so well that it was well in front of square. A tremendous stroke. Farhan Ali again, better delivery, and squirted into the offside for a single. So very underway here. Already 10 single. Two more runs. Two more needed to finish. Glance right in our direction. Do I get the chance to feel the ball? It goes to within 1 foot of me. I do not get the chance to feel the ball, but it still goes for 4. Slower ball tried. Rishi Ramesh just glancing it away behind square. Glancing it fine, actually. And so now 15 runs from the over with just 1 ball to come. And I started to say tellingly, the slip fielder is out. So it almost feels like the Michigan Cricket Stars have already given up. There's no slip fielder. No one is in an attacking fielding position. And this is a run down to third man for another single. So this is good batting by Rishi Ramesh. Just taking what is being offered to him here by the Michigan Cricket Stars. That is the end of the 4th over. At the end of 4, the score is 37 without loss. .37 without loss after 4. Current run rate is 9.25. Dallas Mustangs only need to score at the rate of just over 5 runs and over from here to win this match. One suspects that if Sujit Gowda stays there for much longer, this match will be done and dusted in somewhere around 15 overs. Rishi Ramesh back on strike, and those 2 slip fielders are back in position for him. That's good to see if you're Michigan. They're looking to take wickets. Oh, again, looking to wave at that one outside off stump. Zia Khan is bowling a very good line. He's asking Rishi Ramesh to hit him over that third man area if he wants to go big. But if there is any type of a false stroke, then those 2 slip fielders are right in position. And again, I said it earlier, I think they need slip fielders in position throughout this entire match. Even if it ends up being that runs are scored, the only option is to take wickets. That's well played. Defended behind point. Good piece of fielding. Uh-oh, there's a run. No, that's given away. Should have been a dot ball. Underhanded throw by that fielder at backward point, but no one backing up on the onside. And the ball goes away for a single. But importantly, it does bring Sujit Gowda back on strike. And I think Sujit Gowda is going to be much less conservative than Rishi Ramesh. Rishi Ramesh already 12 from 13. But look at Sujit Gowda, 23 from 12 with 3 4s and a 6, striking it at almost a rate of 200. So you anticipate that he will continue to go along that vein. If that ball is there to be hit, you expect that he will hit it. Zia Khan is a good bowler. He's going to want to keep this out of the hitting zone. Short down the leg side. That's going to be wide. It's signaled by umpire Partha Patanaik. So, Nagesh, after you have delivered the goods, literally, and I appreciate this brilliant chocolate cookies and cream shake that I'm having right now. Your impressions of the start of this inning so far for the Dallas Mustangs?
I'm not sure there is anything to say here. 37 for no loss with Rishi and Sujit and no wickets down. I think, that it's a 4. but I thought it was almost a catch, and I was going to say, "Oh man, I probably misspoke." I guess not. So there is another boundary right over the inner circle. The guy couldn't reach it. But again, I think Dallas is just playing to kill it, right? And they're not being tentative. They're not being. I think they're just being aggressive, from what I can see based on the score.
Well, that was flat batted over the top of Captain Naim Anwar. Next delivery squirted through the offside. Oh my goodness, that was potentially, I think that was a bump ball actually. But it went back behind that fielder at backward point, deflected to the fielder running around from wide third man. I think that's Tirth Patel out there. But another single. But to your point, the start being displayed here, particularly by Sujit Gowda, suggests that this game is effectively already over. And so just 2 balls remaining. Zia Khan is into his 3rd over. He's their premier strike bowler. So he only has 8 balls left in his spell. The other opening bowler, Firhan Ali, has been treated rudely by Sujit Gowda. That's well played by Rishi Ramesh. So even if a wicket falls, maybe even if 2 wickets fall, you still get the sense that this start has already effectively been so effective from the standpoint of the Dallas Mustangs that it's already starting to feel like it's a done deal, like it's over. So with 44 runs on the board, this is the last ball for Zia Khan's 3rd over. And only another 76 runs to go for victory. Full toss, actually low full toss, slapped behind square for a single. And that is a single. And the 5, the score is 4-5 without loss. .45 without loss. I guess maybe this would be a good time for me to ask you about zero touch. So tell us a little bit about what that is and how it impacts the proceedings here.
I think zero touch, what we're trying our best is to reduce the, it's a simple thing. You turn on, you come to the ground, you turn on your camera connected to the streaming device, and somewhere in YouTube or Facebook or wherever you want to see, you get the feed and you watch it. The other thing you get is that right from the field, you can control the ads for your sponsors of your teams, the breaks, the graphics, 4, 6. That's all given back into the control of the person organizing it, so that you don't have to have a full crew trying to even orchestrate the game. Still not there. I think from our perspective, the more we get eyeballs on the game, on the social media channels and on YouTube's, the more the game is going to get popular in the United States, and that's one of our objective, trying to figure out how to get more eyeballs on the sport itself. We've introduced a simple package, 5 games for $500. That's a steal as far as I'm concerned when you think about live streaming and what it takes to produce something like this across the board, and they can do it themselves, right? So that's what lies for us. Zero touch meaning any team captain can source it and then run it himself, and then he can produce the content for his teammates, his sponsors, and his whoever his well-wishers are.
Thanks for that summary. And those of you who are able to to take advantage of that offer, I think will be very interested in hearing about that. But back to the game. Mohamed Mohsin is now the bowler. Conceded a single and then a 4 to Rishi Ramesh. That second delivery a little bit too far outside off and cut away for 4. But Mohamed Mohsin, generally a very good leg spinner. Ryan Scott into position because that ball, if it turns, is going to be leaving Rishi Ramesh inside edge onto the pad. So 4 deliveries already in this over, 3 of which were dot balls, and the 4th was cut away for 4. But I think Mohamed Mohsin looking to be very threatening. I think Rishi Ramesh realizing that now all he needs to do is just get right to the pitch the way that he just did and cover those balls up. Just 1 ball remaining here in the 6th. Last ball of the power play. Flies over the top of backward point for 4. So just a bit wide. That time, Mohamed Mohsin committing the sin of having that line be too far outside off stump. That ball is flayed away over the top of backward point for 4. That is the end of the power play. And the end of the power play brings the score to 53. So after 6, 53 without loss, Dallas Mustangs are well and truly on the way. Three without loss. 3 overs bowled by the strike bowler Zia Khan. He will be taking a break. And the bowling now coming from the north end will be delivered by Tirth Patel. Now outside of the power play. And now in the deep, right here in front of us at long off is Mohamed Mohsin, Ryan Scott at long on, Hakeem Dodson at cow corner, another fielder in the deep at mid wicket, and a sweeper on the offside. So very much the spinner's type of field, and this is down the leg side, just clipped behind square for a single. In fact, I believe it's going to be a leg by, now signaled by umpire Partha Patanaik. So to the over. Once again, if you are all you need to do is score it or run a ball. But they've started off much aggressive, such that the current of 8.76 is only need to go at 4.77 from here to win. 4.77 runs and over. It's pretty straightforward. Tirth Patel, left-hander bowling left arm orthodox. It's well defended by Rishi Ramesh for no run. It's good to see another slip fielder in position to support the young left-hand bowler. And another dot ball. These dot balls are important in the context of any game. And you'd think that if you're bowling a succession of dot balls to the young Rishi Ramesh, it will be a good test of his patience. He's not quite, obviously, as experienced as all the other cricketers in the side. And maybe from the standpoint of the Michigan cricket stars, you're looking to see if you can somehow frustrate and tempt him into a rash shot. He's doing well so far, though, not allowing the fact that a few dot balls have been bowled at him to prevent him from keeping his head. And that's important. He just needs to keep his head. Another 2 balls remaining here in the 7th over. Left armer again around the wicket between the umpire and the stumps. Another dot ball, 4 consecutive dot balls. Now this would be a good time for Sujith Gowda to just go down the wicket and remind him, if this last ball is a dot ball, it's perfectly fine because we have the chase well and truly underway. You just don't want him to do anything rash. Looking to work this away over the leg side. Half-hearted appeal for LBW. But a very good over nonetheless. Just one run coming from it. At the end of 7, the score is 54 without loss.
दिल है पानी पानी
54 without loss. Mohamed Mohsin already bowled 1 over. And he's back on to bowl a second, bowling to Sujith Gowda. In the air, just a little spectator catch, if you will. Right to Captain Noman Anwar in the covers. So 6 consecutive dot balls bowled in this match so far. Not in this match, I'm sorry, in this innings. Looking to cut and not making contact. So make that 7 dot balls on the trot. The last 8 balls have yielded 1 run. So things slowing down a little bit. The spinner's doing the job here for the Michigan Cricket Stars, but that string of dot balls is broken with that ball punched into the outfield for a single. What changes things from here for the Michigan Cricket Stars?
I think right now I don't know whether these 8 dot balls in any other circumstance would have added a lot of pressure, but I don't see any pressure adding because of the 8 dot balls. But at least what it does is it gets them confidence of what they're doing, and hopefully they're expecting a breakthrough to build the confidence and then hope for a few more miraculous wickets, right? I mean, again, at the end of the day, what you're looking for is 11 good balls that can go through at this stage of the game and get you back into the game. Each ball that can do that is something that gets you closer to the being in there and trying to win it. But that said, I just want to close this out with one last thing, Brian. You told me what's good about this zero-touch live streaming. I came in here to support, and the best part is I'm able to sit with you and do commentary and not worry about the gear or the stream or anything like that. I mean, that's the underlying underpinning of this. Otherwise, I would have been just sitting there, right? Okay, back to you.
Tremendous. That is such an advantage. And that means that single that was taken off that last ball of the over means the score now gets to 56. Just another 64 runs needed. After 8, the score is 56 without loss.
Have tea there. I'm going to get some tea.
Tirth Patel back into the attack. .56 without loss. This game starting to have an air of inevitability about it. Tirth Patel going to be trying his best, of course. Nothing at all wrong with the dot balls that he's piling up. But dot balls alone are not going to do it. You'll never refuse a dot ball. Generally, in the context of the game, it's a good thing, but you need more than that. You need to take wickets. Oh, false shot, but he may get away with it. It lands in the deep. Good pickup by Mohamed Mohsin running around from long off. Rishi Ramesh really looking to go over extra cover, but getting that thick outside edge. Not quite getting to the pitch, maybe. And Mohamed Mohsin running across away from us here at the commentator's box end to just limit the damage to 1 run. Well, now Sujith Gowda is on strike. Oh, looking for the big sweep. missing out. Maybe that ball bouncing a little bit more than he was planning on it bouncing. No question that Sujith Gowda tends to be a lot more of an aggressive batter than Rishi Ramesh. Flat batted down the ground. Ryan Scott right there to limit that damage to 1 run. That was struck very firmly. But once again, a good piece of fielding by Ryan Scott coming across to his left to minimize the damage. Now Rishi Ramesh back on strike with 2 balls to go here in the 9th. They're almost at the halfway stage in terms of both runs needed and balls gone. Good piece of fielding by Tirth Patel to his own bowling. So just another 67 balls remaining and 62 runs needed. It's always good to have fewer runs needed than balls remaining to be faced. But maybe just a little bit of pressure starting to build now onto the Dallas Mustangs. And Tirth Patel looking to capitalize on that. Clipped into the mid-wicket area for a very simple single. That ends things here in the 9th. So 3 runs coming from that over. A very good over again by Tirth Patel. His 2 overs now have only cost him 3 runs. Great bowling for this young left-arm orthodox spinner. At the end of 9, the score is 59 without loss. 59 without loss. We're at the 9 over mark. And this is going to be the captain, Norman Anwar, taking up the attack from the forest end. Oh, thick outside edge, really thick under edge. The throw coming to the non-strikers end. That may have hit Rishi Ramesh in the back. He should be okay, though. I think certainly that was a very thick edge. Too thick, I think, to be called a chance because it deflected it so heavily that I don't think there was any realistic way of a catch being taken there. So a single, and that single brings the score to 60, which means that they're exactly halfway there in terms of runs needed to win. 60 runs scored, 60 runs to get, 65 balls in which to get them. Next delivery, very straight and punched to backward square leg for a single. So again, singles would be more than enough to get the job done here if you were Dallas. It's unlikely that it will take place in all singles, but that really would be all that they would need to achieve that victory. I think the way that they ordinarily score, that would be very unlikely, but they certainly have the opportunity. And this is straight down the ground. That goes all the way for 6. Rishi, in fact, it goes for 4. I thought it was for a split second that it went all the way, but umpire Samir Bandekar signaling to let us know that that ball may have just landed inside the rope, straight down the ground, piercing mid-on or long off and long on directly. So that is, you have to think that might have been an opportunity for a missed catch.
Yeah, Brian, I think that was a slightly late reaction from the fielder up there. I think he could have had a distance chance at getting to it had he anticipated that or has he taken off as soon as the intent of the shot was there. That said, I think at this point in time, I think those are the hard ones that have to be given 150% if Michigan wants any shot at trying to make this a game at this point in time.
So score now moving on to 6-6 with that wide. And this is knocked into the outfield at least a couple more. No, they don't want to. They're just jogging. This is now starting to feel like it is a practice match. It's well, either regardless of who's running fast and who's not, it's still the fact that both have to sprint to get runs. And if they're not both committed to running fast, then all the energy by one doesn't mean anything. This is glanced down to Ryan Scott at short third man for yet another quick single. Just one ball remaining. You see the umpires signal to each other. And so we're almost at the halfway stage. After this ball, we will be at the halfway stage in terms of balls remaining. Only another 52 runs needed from here. Oh, looking for the big hit again, Rishi Ramesh, and it trickles into the outfield. That is a single to close things out in the 10th. We're halfway through the innings. The score is 6-9 without loss. Travis Patel back into the attack, and this is slapped over the top by Rishi Ramesh for a single. So again, just no real urgency needed. Just singles alone will do it from here. And you get the sense that that's exactly the way that the Dallas Mustangs are treating this. Travis Patel now bowling around the wicket to Sujit Gowda, who may have other ideas, by the way. Stroked right down the ground. It's just going to be a single. Your thoughts, Nagesh?
Yep. I think with all T20s, we are used to seeing them like action movies. And here we are seeing a slow drama unfold. So, but from a cricket and a strategy perspective, I think Sujit and Rishi are doing exactly what's needed. Just not taking the chances, going through it. It almost feels like Rishi is trying to take the aggressor role, and Sujit is just staying there to just finish it all off. So really good strategic intent and really good execution from a cricketing point of view.
Lofted in the air, this is a catching opportunity. He takes the catch at extra cover, so Rishi Ramesh is done. Lofting it, I think you mentioned he was trying to take the aggressive role. Maybe playing a little bit of a different role than the one that you'd expect him to play. And he ends up holding out in the deep to extra cover. Extra cover, easily taking that catch, taking it down low, but putting it away nonetheless. So the first wicket goes down. Rishi Ramesh ends up holding out in the deep 33 from 42. The first wicket goes at 71 for 1. So Rishi Ramesh goes, and with Rishi Ramesh heading back to the pavilion, the batter coming to the wicket is the former West Indies and Trinbago Knight Riders and Guyana Amazon Warriors wicketkeeper batsman Dinesh Ramdin. Just to go over Ramdin's international career, we'll say nothing about the fact that he has played in T20s, professional T20 franchises around the world, but just from an international standpoint, 74 tests, high score of 166 and an average of 25. In ODIs, he has 2,200 runs from 139 innings with a high score of 169 and an average also of 25. And T20s, he's played 71 internationally, 636 runs and a high score of 55 not out, average of 18. So obviously tremendously experienced, and you expect that he's been in situations like this innumerable times in his life. And of course, again, no pressure whatsoever. The team only needs right around 5 runs and over to win from here. And just playing this off the back foot. Treth Patel really doing a good job overall, it has to be said. Treth Patel now up to 1 ball remaining in his 3rd over. He's conceded only 5 runs and taken a wicket, so he's really doing well, the young left-arm spinner. Ramdin off the back foot spoils all of that. With that 1 stroke, Treth Patel just gave up more runs in that 1 stroke than he had in his 3 overs so far. Flying well over the top of long on for the first 6 off the bat of Dinesh Ramdin. So that is 6 to end things here in the 11th over. At the end of 6. My apologies. I've been corrected by about 8 different people. Eventually. Sujit Gowda. So Dinesh Ramdin still hasn't faced the ball. And Sujit Gowda is the one who just knocked that ball well over the top of long on. Goes away for 6. So in either case, it's the end of 11. And the score at the end of 11 is 7-7 for 1.
Brian, how are you?
Yeah.
7-7 for 1. And this is Mohamed Mohsin to continue. And he will be bowling to Dinesh Ramdin. See you, man. See you. Down the leg side, Ramdin taking that first delivery, slipping down the leg side, and it goes for wide. Just another 43 runs, 42 runs needed for the victory. So really no point in having those fielders, or at least all those fielders in the deep on the leg side. And now you see mid-wicket coming inside the circle. Still a man at deep square leg. Ramdin driving this one down to long off for a single. That's Akeem Dotson down there cleaning up. And with the exception of that long 6 that was just struck by Sujit Gowda, who is now up to 39 from 25, essentially it's being done in singles here for Dallas. Oh, look at this. Where did that go? It's under edge and it gets close to the boundary. They'll get 2, but that easily could have gone onto the stumps. That was an inside edge that somehow defeated Sujit Gowda. They will like to have had the 2 runs, but Sujit Gowda is not going to be happy about that inside edge because that very easily could have gone onto the stumps. Quicker delivery, and this is played more confidently. This is Ryan Scott in the covers who does a cleanup. Now, 3 balls remaining here in the 12th. Only another 39 runs needed. Looking to force it off the back foot. Again, going into that backward point area for no run. Generally, good bowling here by the spinners of the Michigan Cricket Stars. If the target was somewhere around 150, 160, that might have been a concern for the Dallas Mustangs. But with such a low total, it may not make a difference. Struck over, extra cover, that's going to be 4. Akeem Dotson running around from long off, but never was going to do anything other than retrieve that ball. That's 4 more, and Sujith Gowda now moves on to 45. Just 1 ball remaining here in the 12th. Sujith Gowda 1 stroke away now from his 50. I don't know that he knows that, but I think he'll continue being as aggressive he has been so far. Oh, look at this. This is cheeky. A late cut that will run away for 4. That is a brilliant piece of batsmanship. What an effort. Brilliant effort down here on the boundary by Tirth Patel, but he was not able to get there. In fact, if the ball had another foot to travel, he may have well stopped it. Good effort on his part, Tirth Patel, but the ball still runs away for 4. So Sujith Gowda moves up now to 49. The overall score to 89. 12 overs are up. Another 31 runs needed. We'll be right back. The new bowler from the northern end is going to be Kawar Ali. Kawar Ali, I believe he's a leg spinner. He will be bowling to Dinesh Ramdin. Right arm over the wicket. Short. Oh, no ball. Look at this. This is work down the ground for a single. But this next delivery, a no ball from a spinner, means that Sujith Gowda has the chance to move to his 50, and he'll be doing it with a free hit. Oh, my goodness. I think Kawar Ali is now is questioning umpire Partha Patanaik as to where his foot landed. Once again, umpire Patanaik, as is umpire Bandekar, brilliant umpire. So if they make a call, you can expect for it to have been the right call. So now free hit. This next delivery. Slap down the ground, and that is a 50. Great batting by Sujith Gowda. You could argue that he potentially could have gotten more out of that free hit. But I don't think he'll mind very much with that. He's just happy to, I think, still be there. And more importantly, fewer than 30 runs now needed for victory. Oh, looking to go big, a little bit of extra bounce. Able to make an economy. 28 more runs needed. Just a small matter of 28 runs. So the Michigan Cricket Stars essentially are staring down the barrel of a pretty comprehensive defeat in a match that they had to win. Tossed up. Oh, this is going to be a catching opportunity for short fine leg. Takes it easily. And that is Dinesh Ramdin. Unfortunately for the Dallas Mustangs, not able to get very far into his innings. So his last opportunity to produce with the bat before the playoffs start does not come off as expected. Ramdin holds out to short fine leg, and the score is now 92 for 2. .92 for 2, and you now see that this match really does feel like it's over because the batter at the crease is now William Luddick. William Luddick, I mentioned it yesterday, one of the best all-rounders And for my money, in the short list of MVP caliber players from last season, has not played the entire season. His first match played this season was yesterday. So if you're Dallas and you're wanting to make sure that all of your guns are firing for the playoffs, then you certainly need William Ludwig to get back to where he was last season. Batted yesterday, did not do a lot with the bat, so I can certainly understand why Captain Corey Anderson wants William Ludwig to be at the crease again, just to be able to regain some of the form that he had from last year. And essentially, this is a no-pressure situation. Just another 28 runs needed for victory, and still another 54 balls in which to get them. So check that, 45 balls in which to get them. So you would think that this presents an opportunity for William Ludwig to get out in the middle, just to make sure that his eye is right, see the ball coming onto the bat, and of course he has a batter at the other end who's on 50 not out. Short ball, oh my goodness, I think my car is in trouble. Oh, that is blasted. Couple bounces and that ball rolls into the parking lot. You cannot bowl short at that pace. Well, you don't want to bowl short ordinarily anyway, but at that pace, that ball just sat up and begged to be whacked. Sujith Gowda only too happy to oblige. So another 6 to him. He now moves up to 56 and a little bit of a delay while Ryan Scott goes into the next county to retrieve this cricket ball. Huge hit. Not quite as county, country, it's all the same. So that 6 maybe not traveling quite as far as the one off of Corey Anderson's bat yesterday. That was probably the biggest 6 I've seen this season. But nevertheless, a huge hit by Sujith Gowda. And just another 22 runs needed for victory in a match that effectively has felt like it was over, maybe 15, 16, 17 overs ago. This again is Kawar Ali. Next delivery. Coming down the wicket, slapping it down straight. This is Tirth Patel doing the work down at long on. Good job by him to limit the damage there. The ball was struck very firmly. That brings up the 100, by the way. And just, I believe, 2 balls to come, and William Ludwig is now on strike. Slip fielder in position for him. Flat bats this down the ground to Mohamed Mohsin at long off. It's all coming very easily now for the Dallas Mustangs. The intrigue has well and truly been taken out of this innings. And it's just a matter of going through the motions here before we get to what the final score will be. Good delivery and defended to backward point for no run. So that's a dot ball to end things here in the 13th. 12 runs coming from the 13th over. At the end of 13, just 19 more runs needed for victory. The score is 101 for 2. 101 for 2. The intrigue has well and truly been taken out of this match. As I mentioned, just a matter of knowing what the final score is going to be now, or in which over this this match is finished. This is going to be Omar Iman bowling from the south end, bowling to William Luddick. Leg spinner, short and hammered. Oh, well, that's one way to get William Luddick going. A half tracker. That ball pitched probably right on the 11-yard mark. William Luddick pouncing onto the back foot and hammering it over mid-wicket for 6. So just another 13 runs now needed for victory for Dallas. We're into the 14th over. And William Luddick, who needs some time in the middle, has not played any competitive cricket all season. So he will appreciate the opportunity to get some runs under his belt ahead of the playoff matches that start this coming weekend in Pearland in Musa Stadium, about 290 miles from where we are here in Dallas. Sweeping around behind square, but can't beat that man at backward or at short fine leg. So if you are anywhere in the sound of my voice and you can get to Pearland, Texas, just about 25 miles south of downtown Houston, you can fly into Hobby Airport in South Houston and you will be in Pearland in a few minutes. I would highly recommend that you make plans to visit the Pearland area next weekend in a high-stakes matchup. This will be the conference semifinals between the Dallas Mustangs and likely the East Bay Blazers, even though there may be a chance that the Seattle franchise can get there on net run rate considerations. But I think for the most part it will probably be the East Bay Blazers. A little bit of an excitement. William Luddick doing well to keep that ball from ricocheting onto his stumps, and then attempted stumping does not go the way that was expected to go by the keeper, and umpire Partha Patanaik coming in to clean up. Next delivery down the leg side, and again glance to that man at short fine leg. So a 6 to start things here in the 14th, but then 3 good balls make that 4 good balls bowled by Omar Iman. So just 1 ball remaining here in the 14th. 13 runs needed for victory. A pretty straightforward, no fuss sort of a chase. William Luddick just needing to get that little bit of extra time in the middle, as I mentioned. In the air, oh, almost a spectacular catch pulled off by the captain, Nauman Anwar. Fiercely struck, though. Went up with one hand and was only able to deflect it. The ball runs away into the outfield and they get 2. So a firmly struck ball means that there's a bit of insult to injury, or call that injury to insult, for the Michigan Cricket Stars captain. 11 more runs needed for victory. The score is 109 for 2.
I can make you laugh, man, every time.
There's a very close match being going on. The middle is well and truly finished. The match right now is between the sun and the tree. And if this match lasts for another 5, the match on the field lasts for 5 more minutes, I think the sun will win and we will be in the sun. Short ball hammered. Oh, that goes a long way. Another 6. So I think with that stroke, the tree is going to end up winning this little match and we will remain in the shade. Just another 5 runs needed for victory now. This is Kawar Ali. His first over went for 12 runs, and the first ball of his second over goes for half that much. Sujith Gowda now moving up to 50. Exactly. So now moving up to 63 from 35 balls faced. So great hitting on his part. And just one stroke remaining. And here's catching practice for us. In fact, over our heads, that ball struck well and truly over the top. And that is victory for the Dallas Mustangs. A tremendous effort, pretty clinical, slow in the middle overs, but Sujith Gowda stays there at the end and adds the winning touch with a 6 that flies over our heads right here in the commentary area. And Dallas takes this by the convincing margin of 8 wickets. So quick look at the scorecard. Dominated, of course, by Sujith Gowda. 69 not out from 36 balls, 6 fours, and 5 big. Rishi Ramesh partnering him at the lineup. 33 from 41 with 5 fours. And not a lot to speak of for the bowlers from the Michigan Cricket Stars. Zia Khan tried 3 overs, none for 25. Farhan Ali, 2 overs for 20. Mohammad Mohsin bowled well, none for 22. And Tirth Patel, I think, was the pick of the bowlers. 3 overs, 1 for 11. Kawar Ali was treated very rudely by Sujith Gowda. 1.2 overs, 1 for 24. So that is the end of the match. It is the end of the regular season. And the playoffs, which start in Pearland, Texas this coming weekend, are going to be exciting. Do plan to join us. If you can join us, do that. If not, you'll be able to follow along at the same spot that you're watching this game right now. For right now, this is Brian Walters signing off from the fabulous McKinney Cricket Ground in McKinney, Texas. Good night.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.